We're going to be live on YouTube. Yes, no, maybe. And good. So with that, we're going to be picking up where we left off with the over-budget builders and getting all that going. Oh, nice. 94 out of 100 points. Lines up perfectly with the DLC icons. It looks like you're labeling the DLC. Yeah, sadly, 2 seconds later, it doesn't line up at all well. But for those who missed out what this is, we are doing what is known as the Whole Tile Challenge. This is not an idea I've come up with. There's been a bunch of people out there who have been working on that. People like WoJess, FG Squared, Alana Rama, among many others. But the gist of it is, if we go to the edge of the map, you'll see there's this little white boundary. I'm not allowed to build outside that, but I need to build every little bit of this area in here needs to have stuff I built in it. Now, to be clear with that, I can't just sit there and make the whole thing one big stockpile or one big farm and say, done. It has to be something that's like actually in use, useful, however you want to say. It can't just be stuff to like filler or whatever. There goes the batteries that we unlocked, which was pretty exciting. I don't know where I'm going to put them, because we're suffering because of space, because of lack of pawns. Which it looks like I got a bunch of pawns. I actually only have 5. These are refugees. Yeah, no, I've been using Rocket Man because of performance concerns. Especially with this challenge, one of the things we're going to run into towards the end game is performance will start becoming a major concern for us. And there is some stuff I can do to mitigate that issue, but not unlimited stuff. Like, there's limitations. But very specifically, like, the solar flare event will be an absolute performance vampire when it happens, because RimWorld's coding on lighting is really bad. So you can do the math on that. Alright, so I need to have you do the Sky Lantern thing. We can go over here. Bills. Do I have the burn stuff here? Alright. Because I want them to burn old clothes. Alright. But yeah, so the plan is to just basically keep building this up. So this is going to be kind of a marathon colony. That the idea is we just keep growing and growing and growing. Right now we're using a pretty just like standard kind of Death Star array kill box, whatever you want to call it, where you have kind of the arc here. I'm going to need to make this longer. I'm not worrying about it too much. This isn't going to be the final position of the kill box anyways, and realistic will probably have multiple. Realistic, I'm going to have to put it right up to the map's edge. But not really a point in worrying about that quite yet. It's also likely a thing that I know I got comments on YouTube that people are saying, oh, thank you, you're not using a kill box that just abuses pathing or just burns the people or like uses heat to knock them out. You know, thank you for not using the really cheesy kill boxes. For now, I'm not using the cheesy kill boxes. Realistically, there will be a point that I will have to start cheesing a little bit harder. Because right now, our wealth isn't that high. We're at about 80,000. And that's for that big. We look at that. For this big, that's like that here. We're talking about blowing up that wealth at least 15, 20 times just in buildings. Not mentioning our pawns getting stronger and thus more valuable and all that stuff. Kind comments on YouTube? We do get them. I do deal with a lot of, like, rubbish comments on YouTube as well, where people are just being toxic. I've mentioned it before. Like, all the platforms, you get both kind of good and bad stuff happening on them. But, like, it feels like YouTube is particularly bad about kind of vanity. Where it's just like, you look old, you look like an uncle, you look high. Like, it's all about appearance, is 90% of stuff I deal with. Where Twitch, we just get, like, the random troll, lots of backseating, that kind of stuff. But it's usually not, it's, like, more frequent, but not as bad, really. And then TikTok people just tend to be weird. Hey, Lux, thank you for being on both of them. Advanced lights. Cool. And as you get close to the edge of the tile, raids will be pretty much spawned inside your base. Yeah, so there will be a point that I'm gonna have to abuse a lot of stuff. You can just surprisingly far with the double thick walls and doors everywhere. Yeah. No, there's a lot of stuff, but it is one of those things where people are comments like, thank you for not using the, like, what is the common strategies for kill boxes? Because they're effective. We will likely have to lean into at least some of those strategies. I don't plan on making, like, the big room where you fill it up with, like, chem fuel or whatever, and the raiders pop in, you shoot a shot behind you to set off the chem fuel on, like, a carpeted floor, hay grass floor, and close the door behind you, and watch all the raiders go down as they try and chisel through your wall, and the room superheats. I don't plan to do that, because one, I don't actually like that style kill box. But I could see potentially having to lean on, like, kill boxes that abuse pathing. Because we are talking, like, that's actually one of the things about this challenge, is it doesn't, like, you can obviously, the harder settings will be harder, but it almost doesn't matter what difficulty settings you choose, because eventually your colony wealth is going to be so, absolutely ridiculous, you're going to have to be able to handle, you know, what feels like effectively an unlimited size attack. Alright. And I'm going to have them make new beds. That way I can destroy or sell the poor quality beds. Maybe do that. I did see, and I'd be curious to set it up. I did see we had shared yesterday in the Discord and the RimWorld channel some just like really amazing bases that people had made. Like they had this whole thing where there was like this circle over here that there was like a middle layer of the circle as a bedroom and then like two outer layers of the circle. So it's just this winding twist of just bedrooms the whole way around. And it was amazing looking. Like it was a very fancy base. I do see wanting to do like some extreme stuff. Maybe not be able to pull off that because I think I'd have to plan way too much in advance for it. But I could see making like a really elaborate base over time because we're going to keep building and building and building. So there's going to be times that we end up tearing stuff down and moving in, adjusting, and whatever we got to do with all that. I know I need to build a battery, but I haven't decided where. My thought is pretty much to let them get these bedrooms built, get rid of some of these bedrooms down here, and start moving stuff down. Hey, Phil Tully, how's it going? It was pretty. Oh, it was gorgeous. Like I looked at the base, like, man, I wish I was that good at making a base. All right, yeah. So at the moment, we're just going ahead and trying to expand, getting our new bedroom set up. I do like this design because I can put the heaters in here, and then one of these doors will get rid of the door and make it into an AC, and I can cool off this area. I do feel like we go ahead and just make big bedrooms and fan stuff, because we are making the whole tile. We're gonna need to like use up all the space anyways. What game is this? This is RimWorld. It is a colony building game that It markets itself as a story builder, and the reason for that is you only have so much control of what's going on in the game. So, like, you have your characters, they have their needs. If their needs aren't met, eventually they get really upset and they throw a fit and they'll do stuff like break things, set fires, kill each other, cry in their room, whatever they go and do. But you can also have injuries that are permanent isn't the right state, but are, you know, stickier. So, like, a Sindoran here yesterday was in a melee fight and lost their arm. So, that's a whole thing. One of my alpaca got struck by lightning and burned to death. That's kind of dark. Game sounds cool. It's a fun game. It's been around for a while. It's a pretty popular game, too. Alright. Yeah, Randy said F that alpha. It's actually Cassandra, but yes. I've not been playing Randy in a while. The issue I have with Randy is Randy actually ends up being the easier of the two most of the time. But his issue is sometimes Randy will just go to sleep and leave you with nothing to do for a long time, versus Cassandra at least hits at a pretty predictable cadence. Alright, so our alpacas are doing fine. We're probably going to need to knock that population down a little bit more aggressively, but we'll get there. Is that a village that you built? Yes. It's still pretty early, but yeah. Have I played Smurfs? I have not played anything Smurfs, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm assuming the second part is an acronym. Very wonderful. Thank you. Alright, so I don't take colonists that I won't let me see what it is. Combination of Randy and Cass. Advanced Storyteller. Oh yeah, not some mod, which means I probably haven't touched it. I've mentioned this many times before. I generally am very light on my modding. With what happened with Kenshi being exactly a perfect example as to why. That we were having a good time, and then suddenly it's like, wait, what is this? Why are we not cooking food? Oh, we are straight up out of wood. I understand. So let's fix that. So we're completely out of wood. So our wood stove doesn't work. Is that a farm we got there? Yep, we got a farm in the middle. We're going to a bunch of different things. Rice, potatoes, heel root, which is just a medical product, cotton, dye, corn, hops. They've got what's called psychoid in here. Devil strand, which is like a leathery material, and strawberries. It doesn't really play well with many mod, but that's one of the few. Yeah, now generally speaking though, I've had really bad luck when I've done any type of meaningfully modded anything in any game. Like we soft locked a Stardew Valley save because we were using some expanding mods that we were playing through the main story of the mod, and we were getting really invested in it, and then it got to a point where a portal was supposed to open, and it just didn't. And we tried all their workarounds, and it was just the mod was bugged at the time, so I had to abandon the run until we could come back later when they fixed it. Do you have any animals in your village? We do. We've got a whole lot of alpaca and what's called a boomalope, which is an animal that gives us what's effectively like jet fuel, but explodes when it dies. So we've got that. But we've got a bunch of alpaca in here we use for wool, and then when the population gets too high, we use for meat. Especially when you get locked out of a run. Yeah, and like, we're going through the same thing with Kenshi right now, where we were doing the Genesis mod, and they just had some weird choices that resulted in lots of one-taps. I have had a save file corrupted before, where the save file was just bricked and couldn't be recovered. We had Project Zomboid. We've had one or two mods that ended up having, or there was the 10 years later mod ended up being like super crashy when we tried it out. I think it's better now, but super crashy. And so just kind of one of those things where I've been bit in the butt so many times, and sometimes it's not even that heavy of modding that it just really makes me not want to do much with mods. Now I still mod, but it's usually like UI quality of life stuff. There's only a handful of games that I'll usually do more expansive stuff because the game kind of needs it. Have you built anything besides the village? In this run, no. Generally speaking, when you're playing RimWorld, you have like this is the map you live on, this area. There is a world map, which will take just a moment to load, that you could go to the next town over, like the next section over, and build a second base. But the game is actually not particularly well designed for doing that. So like I could go to the next tile over and build a second base over here. But generally speaking, the idea behind the game is you build your base, that the win condition of the game is you are on this really crappy planet that you don't want to be on, and the win condition is to get back off the planet. So, you know, build up a ship and all that, but which requires you to survive long enough to advance the technology. So it really is building about one colony. There's a very heavy focus on combat in the game, that there will be raids that attack you at random. It's kind of like having a vindictive dungeon master and playing D&D, and just, you know, they pop in there and they do mean things to you. Black saying, you always like to keep mods light, with the core of the game kept the same, or like a single large mod like Zombieland. Yeah, and I played a little Zombieland, and it was just one of those things. It's like, okay, I get why people really like this, but for me, it was like, it would mean I'd have to take away a lot of the challenges I already like to have, and just do Zombieland, which is fine. But I was more interested in the challenges I already had than the Zombieland stuff. Like, Zombieland seems like a perfectly good mod, to be clear. It also felt like Zombieland, to get, like, the true experience out of it, you kind of had to do... like, they have supporting mods. So there's, like, the Zombieland, and then there's a separate Zombieland events mod, and a separate Zombieland this mod. So I tried it, and it was definitely a well-made mod, to be very clear. Alright, later, Phil. It was like definitely a well-made mod and all that kind of good stuff. But it was one of those things I was just like, oh, this isn't really what I want. But see, the main thing you like about Zombieland is Brains is extremely active, and fixes things quickly when found. You've been helping test things. Oh yeah, no, like, that's the thing. I want to make it clear that that mod is very well developed. And I do like the idea of having a regular kind of attrition. Is something that's made by the author of Harmony, and yes, that Harmony you see in all the... Yeah, no, I'm aware. Like I said, the mod is well made. Like, that's not my like, I'm not criticizing the mod saying bad or whatever. It was more along the lines of, okay, this mod is really neat, but I'm gonna have to, you know, like, whatever I gotta do to make that happen. Actually, you're staying for a little bit until you have to leave. Gotcha. Well, you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like and can. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, there's... When I make the comments about mods that I don't mod heavily, I'm not criticizing people who do mod. I'm not criticizing the authors of mods or anything like that. I think it's wonderful that all these mods exist to mix up your games and all that. It's just my personal experience is I've had bad luck with mods, and I generally prefer a much more vanilla playstyle. But that's just the same thing. Like, if I enjoy playing that way, congratulations, it's correct. Just the same if you put 500 mods into your game and you enjoy doing that, congratulations, you're playing correctly as well. It's just whatever you enjoy. Alright, so right now what we're trying to do is we got our research rolling. I've got them cutting brick. We're getting these bedrooms set up. We're going to start kicking people out of bedrooms here soon. So, for example, destroy that poor quality bed, uninstall the good quality dresser, destroy the poor quality stuff here, and that room will be free. You know, let's see. You normally lose interest if it's a ton of mod bloat. The normal game challenges tend to be more trivialized and rude. Exactly. Well, that's honestly, if I were to say another complaint about Genesis, is it did feel like a very bloated mod. That it did a lot of things. Tube television. Sure. We can do tube television. So what games do you play? So I play a pretty wide range of games. I play a lot of, like, simulation, city builder, settlement builder, tycoon. I do play roguelites from time to time. I do play survival style games. So I'm really well known in Project Zomboid circles. I play plenty of RimWorld. I've been playing some Kenshi lately. I do some Farm Simulator. We've done lots of American Truck Simulator. We've done Oxygen Not Included. We've done Coral Island, Stardew Valley, those kind of games as well. So your slice of life, life sim style games. Alright, so we got ourselves a tube television. And where's that power line run? We're going to run a little bit farther so I can reach that television. Because that'll give us yet another form of recreation. Okay, so it looks like our bedrooms up here are all built. Do we have any poor quality furniture in here? It's not looking like it. Looks like it's all good news up here. Which is excellent. Normal's fine. Mostly just avoiding poor quality. Alright. So, what's going to end up happening is I've got 6 bedrooms up there. So, you are unassigned. You are unassigned. Here, we'll approach this differently. First bed is yours. Second bed is Luxray's. Trying to remember if you had who had romances. This will be Very Last Lardine's. Yeah, and unfortunately they can't share a room yet. We've got Chaotic Awesome. And then we'll have Andrew. Cool, so all of our colonists have proper bedrooms. So, uninstall that, it's good quality. Destroy the poor quality bed. I'm gonna destroy the normal quality dresser and all that. That's from people learning skill. Okay, so we're getting a bunch of these random side rooms cleared out. Okay. Alright, later, Phil. You look like you're a pro. Are you a pro at the game? I have played a lot of RimWorld. I wouldn't say I'm a pro. You're not going to see a lot of min-maxy gameplay here. But I've won the game. Like, I've done 500% naked brutality ice sheet stuff before I started streaming. These days I don't quite go that hard because you start to feel after a while like you're pigeonholed into playing the game the same way every time. So I try and come up with more interesting challenges than necessarily just max out numbers kind of challenges. I'm going to regret doing this. We're going to go ahead and put wood floors in all these places. They're going to be awful. It's going to use up all my wood. It's going to suck. It is not a good idea, and I'm going to do it anyways. Alright. But yeah, I generally won't, like, even in Project Zomboid, where I used to hold the world record for the highest kill count run ever stream, like I used to, past tense, I still wouldn't call myself a pro. Just not how I approach things. Alright, so this will start clearing out all of the furniture here. And we can start maybe making one of these rooms into like a dedicated kitchen and just trying to get stuff moved around. So it's not all smashed into this room here. Alright, we're starting to get some more blocks built. Actually, do we put down the wood floors? Or do we... We can do fancy tiles. So yeah, no wood. Wood bad. Get the wood out of here. Instead, we're going to make an equally awful decision of putting down marble floors that we cannot possibly afford. Let's not do that. What am I doing? I'm going to need that to build. We will eventually go with the marble floors. Eventually. But I need to get the drill first. If we get a drill, then I'm just going to sit there and put the drill somewhere where, you know, when an infestation pops, we're plenty set to deal with it. And once we do that, I'm going to start having them put down, like, marble floors and all that kind of stuff, because we'll just have to... Atomic board's not good enough? They're fine, it's just, I have to get lots and lots of wood. Like, this up here represents something like 3,000 wood or something like that. Alright, so we are getting sandstone. So I think the next move is going to be... I actually like the idea of planning out a more involved area. So let's actually check. So I can go out to there before we start having difficulty supporting the weight. So that'll be our next expansion here. Could do that with your not native stones. Yeah, it's hilariously ridiculous on wood construct time. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the construct time too much. If only you were living in a swamp. Alright, so we could do all this. Yeah, so we've got these areas here that'll be kind of tough to build in. So if we do this, we'll have, I believe that's how big that is, if I remember correctly. That'll be dedicated for the geothermal. And we'll have this area down here. And which is a little inconvenient for the design we've had. I could potentially see this area being for mortars in the long run. Because I could put like a little storage area over here somewhere and still have room for mortars right off this path. Okay, the refugees that are visiting our colony, one of them is going to have a baby. That's, you know, congrats. You'll luckily not be here that much longer. So you'll go ahead and just leave and I won't have to worry about that. How do I want to go about this? Because I don't just want to make a grid out design or whatever. I want to do something more interesting than that. Because I do vision a lot of these might be getting replaced. How does the game handle that with a refugee baby? They'll leave before they have the baby. Otherwise, I believe it will just stay with them. I've never run into a situation I've ever had that line up where they have a kid while here. They'd have to show up already going to have a kid. So they'll just walk off the tile before it's over. The baby gets left behind. That's grim. It's probably just one of those things they hadn't accounted for.
RUAAL, congrats on the YPP partying face party popper.
Thank you, Jess, for the congratulations on hitting the YouTube partner program. I really do appreciate that. So, feed baby. A free baby, how sad. Yeah. But thank you so much. Yeah, for those who don't know, I did qualify for the YouTube partner program the other day, and so I am now technically a YouTube partner as well. Which just means the ads you get subjected to on YouTube, because it's YouTube and you're going to be subjected to ads, at least this time, instead of YouTube taking every penny of it, I get a tiny cut of it. So I can start getting revenue over on YouTube, which is nice. Versus all the work you've seen on YouTube to date has never made me a dime. I mean, arguably, it has led people to Twitch, and then Twitch has, ultimately gotten me money. So there is that, which is why it was still worth doing. But now I'll be able to be compensated by YouTube directly. I don't expect to make any meaningful amount of money off of it, though. I'm talking literally, it'll be like a fistful of pennies a month. But it's a fistful of pennies a month that I wouldn't be making otherwise. And you never know. I might have a video that blows up one day that makes it more worth worrying about. So I'm debating how I want to build this area, is what's going on right now. Because I know I'm going to build a perimeter around this for the geothermal. And I'm kind of wondering if in the long term we shift our farm to be around that geothermal and then kind of like make some more elaborate. The one big catch is this chunk of water being in the way. Great construction. I mean, all of these are good. I'm going to actually say no, because building is the limit. Hey, we converted one of the refugees over to our ideology. That's amazing. Now you can make like 28 cents, but it'll grow and become $1.25. And the marriage is on. Zug and Bertha are going to get married. Cool, that's the refugees again. Neat. Then we got a stretch. All right. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just waffling in how I want to design the base around these two chunks of water. I do kind of like the idea of having this big open space that I can have my people run over here and just pepper as raids try and go by. It's not a thing I can worry about long term. It's not going to get us very far. It's also a thing that could literally go up to one of these ends, build my kill box, and then attach it to my base and slowly expand. I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to just kind of like organically grow, like grab a chunk of land, move to the next area, grab a chunk of land, move to the next area, grab a chunk of land. And I'm just targeting this one for the easy access to geothermal, even though I may or may not get the geothermal. You're gonna grind Star Wars Online? Gotcha. Congrats to have a couple? Absolutely. Gotcha. Alright, is it just the one? Okay. Yep, that's not getting back up. I'm curious how different RimWorld would feel if you started on a small map tile and grew the tile as your base grew. I don't know if that would work with the way tile generation works. But I get the idea, is you'd start with, like, maybe your tile is, like, this big or something like that. And then as you approach the border, it keeps, like, pushing the border back. I just don't think the, there was a mod to expand it. Join offer on Bertha. Okay. What were you and what I think? You're a greedy masochist night owl. Your skills are good. But yeah, the pregnant's fine. Cause I don't mind if we have a kid in the place. But greedy is the big negative. The masochist I can go one way or the other. But greedy is... We'll see. So it's Bertha, and who are you? Is Bertha and Lisa. Oh, well, I'm definitely not taking... Well, that's interesting. Because you're a Hussar. So you've got some really good stuff, but you're also a Hussar who has extremely aggressive and go juice dependency. If I can get both, maybe I'll take both. If I can get just one, I will probably leave that alone. Growing the map tile is slightly complicated. Probably use the same generation seed. Yeah. Oh, is you two? Oh, that's much better. What are you? Body purist. But you can do cooking and crafting. Alright, so actually that cracked spine doesn't really hurt your movement that much. But same deal. If I can get both, I'll take both. If I can get just one, we'll take just the one. We're definitely not taking Eliza. Because greedy will be annoying. Because what greedy will happen is if they don't have the nicest of the bedrooms, they'll get pissed off. So if you have two greedy people, no, not necessarily. They could or they could not. They won't. It's like, it's not if I hit yes, does they come automatically. I might get an offer from Zug. But I can get multiple offers simultaneously.
Thank you, Bunker Joe 91, for subscribing for 7 months.
All right, we gotta pause to recognize this real fast. First, thank you so much, Bunker Joe, for the tier 3 sub. That is heckin' generous. I really do appreciate it. You've been subbed to the channel for 7 months, and so thank you for the continued support. And I hope you enjoy your advertiser-free viewing as well as access to emote and chat. If we look at our plus points down there in the corner, we've done it. And thank you so much for everyone, because I know a lot of people were extra generous this month to make that happen. So if we can do this for the next 2 months, we get the bigger cut. So that means we don't, like, obviously you're welcome to still sub and still support and all that kind of stuff. Of course, you're still throwing money in my pocket, which I'm not going to say no to. But yeah. You saw a stream yesterday and knew you only needed 6 and you wanted to make sure you got it. I really appreciate that because like it is one of those things that, for the record, if something happened, we got to the 3rd month and it didn't happen and we missed it, it wouldn't be all that time wasted. Those tier 3 subs, those are 70-30 split regardless. That's like the benefit of them. The tier 2 subs are 60-40 split regardless. It's the tier 1 and prime are 50-50. And to give you an idea, in a given month, outside of this month, because with this push, it's a weird month, but outside of this month, I normally, out of all of my subs, will have 1 or 2, like, tier 2 or 3, and then the other 200 plus subs end up being, like, tier 1s. So it ends up being absolutely huge, because it means, like, 99-point-something% of your subs, you get a bigger cut. Let's see. You think the stream needs and deserves a bigger cut? It's sad to know that you only mostly get 50-50. Yeah, no, it's I'm really happy that they introduced these programs to let us get 60-40 and 70-30, but low key, it should just be 70-30. It should just be 70-30. You hit affiliate, you get 70-30. That's my opinion. I do understand why they do it, because it has driven me to be like, yo, I need people to, toss subs here, I need to do this. And there's a push to it. But yeah, no, that is a major stressor off my shoulders, because we were getting up to, like, we've got 3 days till the month was over, and it was only like 2-3 days ago that we were at 60 out of 100. I was just going, oh crap, we're not gonna make this happen. On YouTube? No, on Twitch. On Twitch, for Prime Gaming subs and Tier 1 subs, you get 50-50 split. I get half the money, so when you drop $5, I get $250, Twitch gets $250. But they're doing a thing where if you get what's called plus points, you get 100 plus points, then instead of being 50-50, it's 60-40, where I get 60% of it and Twitch gets 40% of it. So it ends up being a whole big thing. Yep, Ianek, Bunker Joe is very kind to push us over the line that we are qualified, because it's not I need 101, it's I need just 100. I knew you're close to the cut, and I don't want to see it live, but you don't know I see it live, but usually watch the past streams when you are Wicker off. Gotcha. That's a 10% hug. Yup. Yeah, it's I'll state it as it's a 10% increase, and then people's like, no, actually it's a 20%. And it's like, okay, depending on how you're doing your math, yes. If you go from I'm at 50%, I'm gonna get 60, 60% is 20% more than 50, because, it's 1/5 of 50%. You get the idea. But then it's also 10% more because, it's a flat 10% added. It's how you do the math as, like, perspective-wise on whether it's 20 or 10%. The point is, either way, it's a big deal. Whether it's 10 or 20% increase in your pay, both of those are big. I can't imagine anyone being, like, having their boss give them a 10 or 20% raise and not being happy with that. Outside of you are well underpaid by way more than that, then that's a whole separate issue. But you may say you don't deserve thanks, but you still did the thing that makes this possible, so I'm still going to say thank you. Because it still lets me continue to do what I'm doing. Oh, we should have... I'm starting to get a lot of stuff collected in there. Alright, so these rooms are starting to get moved over. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to reinstall the oven here. I'm going to reinstall the butcher there. We will make new furniture because that furniture is crap. We will not make new furniture. I don't have wood. We will take the crap things here. We'll take that there. And actually, for that matter, we're not going to move it. I've changed my mind. We're not moving the oven. We're going to build a brand new electric oven. And we're going to go in here. We're going to put a light in this room. That'll be fine. Yeah, and then we'll get rid of this oven after that one's built. I'll even go ahead, because that's technically cooking as well. We'll move that in there. So this will be like the cooking room. And for that matter, I will also put... I have to wait till I have more wood. And then we'll also need to run power. But basically, I'm trying to clear out this room so it's just having a mess. Well, chat can be awesome. Chat is awesome. You know, the classic, I wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for all of you. Both from, like, the financial perspective as well as the, what would be the point if I was streaming to myself? Okay, so that room down there is going to be our cooking room. Meanwhile, we can go over here. That'll be our art table. We can get our stone cutter, which will actually need its own chair, not. Quest, we have 3 more refugees showing up. I'm going to give them a little bit of time because these refugees will be gone before those refugees... I can have them gone before the next ones arrive. So I'll do that. This poor storage room is absolutely becoming a problem. We appreciate it, and I support because I like the content, and just wish you wish you was here more often. You're sick and in and out of the hospital. I can understand that. I have family that is very much what's going on right now. I will avoid digging into that topic very much, just because it is difficult for me at the moment, which isn't, this isn't me complaining that you said that, by the way, you're totally fine. This is me saying I'm not going to drill into it so that none of us have to sit here and dwell on that. Research known machining. Alright, that's a big milestone one, so Birth and them are out, and so we're immediately going to say, hey, more refugees. Bring them all. I'm surprised we have not been betrayed yet. Because in RimWorld, there's a chance that refugees will betray you. That they're actually aligned with one of the other factions, and they feign that they need help, and then they show up. Oh my god, they're all doctors. Every last one of them is a doctor. Alright, I want one of you to stay. I don't know which one. I'll look at your stats, and I'm hoping I have the opportunity. But, like, an entire group of doctors? Yes, please. And we have one that can grow stuff. And we got 2 that can do research. You're not going to bother researching that much. I will keep you on crafting. Don't worry about the art. You're terrible at it, so don't bother. That's probably fine. So this one's not going to be super useful right now. This one would be great to get a hold of. That would be great to get a hold of. So let's have a look here at Lamp. What do you got going on, friend? Slothful chemical interest. You're not winning me over. Body purist, very neurotic. Neurotic is a curse and a blessing. It makes it so they set off really easily, but they work extra hard. I would accept that if they were... An ugly wimp. Alright, you are not the greatest group. I would definitely take Black here. That one I would consider. Even though I know a lot of people hate Body Purist. I don't mind it when we can get to, like, bioregeneration. It's not my favorite. It's certainly a negative, but it's not a deal breaker. Ugly is not that big of an issue. It does result in more other problems. Wimp is not my favorite, but I can live with that. Quest completed, cool. And then Slothful is really awful. Alright, so we've got a small army. That's not actually that small of an army. That is a legit army of raccoons. Defensive positions. And let's grab you. You're just going to help where you can. You love augmenting people? Oh yeah, no, it's it is one of those things. I much prefer not having body purist, but it isn't a deal breaker. Like before the biotech, it was much more of a deal breaker for me. But with the introduction of biotech, where you could do like the regenerate limbs and that kind of stuff using Glitter World and all that, I can live with it. Alright, so they did find their way in immediately. We are going to be leveraging everyone in this fight. Oh, actually, one's the straggler. I can live with that. Alright. So, unfortunately, we don't have enough firepower to reliably knock them down on their way in. Luxray is just like, no, smash the raccoon into the dirt with the Zeus hammer. Which, that Zeus hammer, for the record, we actually had the incredibly rare situation where one of the Fallen Empire people went down and dropped their weapon and it wasn't biocoded. Which almost never happens. Yeah. You also voted for the Product Zomboid community server? Yeah, no, it's I figured that one was gonna win when it started taking an early lead. And that just held true. Okay, so now we're gonna go here, we're going to delete that bench. It's gone, don't refuel it. Bills, and we are going to I'll just do it manually. We'll do the simple meals until you have 20. We're not going to go to fine meals yet, I don't think, just because we don't have the spare people. We'll do Saiti forever. It'll do pemmican until you have 1,000 on standby, and we'll leave it at that for right now. But this bench goes away. We need over here a light in this room, and we also need over there power. For that matter, let's just make this loop already. We know it's coming. Let's just do it. All right. So looking at this, I believe we will want to move the tailoring bench in here as well. I don't know what I'm making for dinner, but I am looking forward to it. Because the noises my stomachers make, I'm pretty sure it's trying to summon Cthulhu right now. Because I don't know why. I actually ate lunch, but just the stomach is being very vocal that it wants it to be dinner time, which is soon. It'll probably honestly just be like a charcuterie or something. Something low effort. What did I eat for lunch? Oh yeah. I did have a proper lunch. I was actually sitting just like, wait, did I have a proper lunch? Like, yeah, I had I like tomato soup and a bunch of stuff. Time stops having meaning after a while. Okay, so we got machining. That is a big win. So we're gonna go ahead and where's the machining? There you go. And we still don't have what we need for the drug lab thing. And we'll reinstall the smithy over here as well. Alright, so this is going pretty well, getting things moved. We can move the dye room in here. It doesn't really matter one way or the other. And they're taking apart the stove. Because I haven't had one in a minute. With a nice roast beef sandwich. Yeah, for me it was, I'm not like a huge grilled cheese person. Like, grilled cheese is good and all. But, there is just something about, you know, tomato soup and a grilled cheese. So shred mechanoids forever. We already have the regular helmets being done on the smithy table. We'll leave that until we get to flak. I still have you queued up if I get enough uranium to making a longsword. That's fine. That'll be an improvement over the Gladius. They're just cutting down more trees so we can keep expanding. Major break risk on you, because awful barracks, you're drowsy, you're sleepy. Ah, they're a blood feeder ideology. That's not my favorite. Yeah, but slowly getting all this sorted out, that's all good news. We've got our recreation room is getting figured out. We still have you. We'll go ahead and move the lab table here. That'll get its own little special room. And all our fires are going out and all that stuff, that's fine. They should start catching up that wood pretty soon. Alright. Why not break their ideology? So, I am working on that to a degree. We have, our people are prolicizers, which just basically means they'll pretty much just harass them constantly about their ideology. I'm actually going to do a conversion on black here to sit there and try and switch it over a little bit. You have wake-up addiction. That's not my favorite. But yeah, we are working on trying to do that. They'll whittle them down while they're here as well. But they are refugees. The structure, sandstone wall. Insulting spree because you slept in the cold. Sounds like a you problem, friend. Okay. Actually, let's cancel that till I'll worry about that till we know what we got here. Stop insulting spreeing my people. Because that makes everyone unhappy. Good, everyone went to sleep, so it does look like they hit very last Lardine a bunch. Yeah, 9 insults. That'll last for 2 days. Man, insults are so incredibly rough in this game. They used to use the prison to break them of their drug ideology. Yeah, and that's I like to take care of the refugees. The number of times refugees have given me like really good rewards on the other side of it have been great, because what they'll do is they'll leave and you don't get anything immediately, but then, like, you know, a week or two later, a season later, or sometimes it's a little bit longer, they tend to send you a reward. And a lot of times they send you, like, really, really, really good rewards. Like, I've gotten, like, Masterwork Cataphract Armor, Persona Zeus Hammers. I've got all sorts of stuff. Hey, Belinar, thank you so much for the raid. I do hope you had yourself a good stream. And welcome in Raiders for a bit of RimWorld. What were we streaming today and how did it go and all that good stuff? But for those who don't know, Belinar, absolutely a fantastic creator on the platform. Fellow member of the Halcyon Frequency stream team. They do play a lot of indie games, and I do know they've been playing Helldivers recently. So if you're looking for indie games and or Helldivers, you could probably find it over there. Like, they played a bunch of Enshrouded and a bunch of stuff like that over there, so that gives you an idea of some of the type of stuff you find. But definitely good content to be had over there. But welcome in, Raiders. Who is the trade person? Where's your question mark? There you are. There we go. Where's the sweet spot? I'd like to talk to you. Person in front, I'd like to talk to you. Can we trade? I'm trying to trade. Why are you being weird, game? Oh, I have 2 people clicked. That's the problem. I was like, what's happening? Does he know he did because he couldn't join anyone? Or anyone couldn't join me, so he kind of rage quit and uninstalled it in the middle of stream? Oh! That's no fun. So what were you playing? That's always a bummer when the games don't work. Yeah, no, Twitch was telling me you're playing Helldivers. I still haven't checked it out yet. Like, I've heard good things, but I still haven't checked it out yet. I know they're having server problems, that their servers are being hugged to death. Oh, last epoch. Oh, and its server's down too? Man. I do feel for game developers trying to handle, like, when you have that giant influx of players all at once. Like, when you release an update, that kind of thing. It is... Why do they have so little I want? It is always one of those things that, like, your server's getting hugged to death. Alright, we'll just give them a bunch of drugs, and they can go about their way. We're looking for a replacement arm. That poor Senderin got their arm axed off in a fight. But we are low tech, so we don't have those fancy prosthetics technology. Because I am running no research, random research, so if I wanted plate armor here, you notice there's no research button. It's basically we handed over the keys to our research to Randy, and just Randy's doing Randy things. So we definitely got, for our first electricity research, we got the watermill generator. There's no rivers on here, but we do have it, because that's just the way this rolls. They also started going into drug research pretty early on, because again, Randy's just gonna do Randy things. But yeah. No, I know I've enjoyed Last Epoch in the past, but yeah, no, it's always a bummer. And, you know, you'll have people say, well, they just need to get better servers. And it's kind of those things you almost want to be like, it's one of those pain things that's like, it's not that easy. But yeah, it's a bummer when you do, like, as the customer side of it, you get hit. And especially as a content creator, it sucks so much. All right, sterile materials, that's not what I would do next, but I'm certainly not unhappy with that. But yeah, again, Belinar, absolutely fantastic creator. I definitely recommend checking them out. But yeah, sorry your stream was dealing with so many server problems. It's always a struggle. But yeah, so we are doing the whole tile challenge. For those who haven't seen, we've got a bunch of creators who are friends of the channel have been doing this, like Wojess, Alanorama, FT Squared, and all that. But if you look at this little white border here, I'm not allowed to build outside of it, but anywhere inside that white area I can build. And the idea is, by the end of the run, that literally all of this space would have meaningful buildings into it. Now, that said, I can't just go in and make it one giant stockpile or one giant farm and say, I'm done. The buildings, like, whatever I build there has to actually be useful, have purpose, however you want to state it. It has to be, like, some meaningful thing. Alright, and you'll also be sterile floors because research. But now he doesn't have to click on the research page, which makes the UI easier. Let's see, you tried to have 4 streams now to play Helldivers. We've managed once. I just can't schedule anymore, it won't work. Yeah, no, absolutely. I have been there with them. What game was it? It was City Skylines 2. It wasn't server problems. It was blue screening my computer. So as well as things that I was enjoying the game, but because it's blue screening my computer, I tried like 1 or 2 streams and like, I can't try this again. Because having your stream go completely down for a minute or two and then coming back up while you get everything rebooted was just absolutely undoable. And having server issues is the same thing, where you sit there the whole time being like, let's get into a game. You're trying to entertain your chat for like half hour to an hour and just not getting any gameplay in. Is just feels bad, man. So yeah, no, I absolutely don't blame you. Like I said, it's the same thing that happened to me with City Skylines, is like, I can't play it. I want to play it, people want to see it, but I just can't. You need to stream PC. Yeah, no, but then I gotta set up a whole thing. Oh yeah, no, it's just an absolute, I'm gonna say the phrase, just an absolute kick to the balls when it comes to doing that. I'm doing pretty good today. And thank you for the congratulations of hitting the 100+ points. That happened about 30-ish minutes ago. But yeah, no, and I don't even think it's a wrong decision. I've had creators that, like, they're in that spot, and they turn around, they're like, all right, just ending stream. Like, even if they're, like, in the, like, first third of the stream just going, just ending stream, I don't even think that's a wrong decision, because your headspace is just in the wrong place at that point. It's really hard sometimes, like, bring yourself back into a good enough headspace to make content. You went to get food? Yep. You just finished a job interview? It was not good. You're feeling like crap right now? That's unfortunate. Obviously I have no idea what happened with the job interview and all that kind of stuff. My general approach to when I do job interviews is I never kick myself for if I don't get the job. I never kick myself if the job ends up not being a good match, those kind of things. Because you don't know until you get in there. And you don't know who's competing or any of that kind of stuff. The only time I would let myself get particularly frustrated with job interviews is if I know I personally botched the interview, that I kind of removed myself from consideration, like even in the absence. That's the only time I kick myself, because then it's like, okay, this is the person at fault for why this job isn't happening. Because there's lots of jobs that I've applied for that I'm like, I know the competition's going to be stiff, and I can only do so much to improve my chances of getting the role. Like, after that, it's not in my hands. That says, was Grady managed to get it working again? Oh, sorry. You've seen a streamer keep streaming through a full PC crash, drivers reinstall. It was fun because he had a stream PC that didn't get out. Was great that he managed to get it working again in the same stream. Pretty rare to have that happen. Well, the big problem you run into is, like, a lot of those, you'll run into the situation where it just takes a lot of time for stuff happening. I think you could get away with that with a multi-stream PC setup once in a while, like as a very rare one-off. But I do imagine you'd have a lot of people who would dip from the stream, especially if like the gameplay is the draw. Like, you're playing whatever, like, the latest game that's come out, or a game that's particularly hot in the moment that people very specifically want to see the game. That would probably be one of those things that you'd have a big dip. But, your regular audience could have fun with that. Having to deal with that kind of BS in the middle of stream also just takes wind out. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it's saying, is it just puts you in the wrong headspace. It gets very exhausting. That being like, okay, I'm gonna shake this off and keep going, I don't always think is the right answer. Your mind as a content creator feeling like you have to be consistent, all that, 100% beats you about the face for that. Just like really just beats you up, being like you're messing up and all that, which is not fair or true. But it is one of those things that, like, in the moment, it's hard not to get into that. You're just not in a great place because you had a plan, it blew up. Especially like what you had, where you talked about you had a plan, it blew up. So you had your backup plan, it also blew up. And that's nothing that, like, falls on you as the individual. Like, you can't count on everything breaking. And it can be very hard to pivot and make that work. Like, there are times that, like, it can even be a thing, like, it doesn't even have to be a thing like that. You can just have a time where you have, like, a particularly not good interaction with stream, where someone pops in your channel and just is, like, really, really toxic or whatever. And it puts you in a bad enough headspace that you're like, you know what? Today's not a good day. And we'll try again tomorrow. And you don't want to give people that satisfaction, because the people who pop in to do that, that's what they're trying to make you do. because it's just a power thing for him. But there are days where you gotta be like, yeah, I can't do what needs doing. Yeah, no, that's like we haven't run to that much there. But it is one of those things that there's just some days that's like, hey, you know what? It's not a good stream day. I've only had to do that once so far, and that was, I won't go into details. Let's say rough family news, and that was a while back that we got very rough news at the time. And it was just definitely like, this is not a day I can do what needs doing. And so we canceled that stream, but that's been a while. Fortunately, most of the time I don't have to worry about that kind of thing, but my point was more when you have those days where everything kind of goes sideways, I don't think it's a bad choice to be like, hey, mulligan, we'll try this again tomorrow, or try whatever you're going to do tomorrow. When you recognize you're not in the place. Now, I obviously, like, I have no idea if you ended early or ended to regular time or what, but yeah, that would be the kind of day I would see myself doing that, where you go to one game, it doesn't go well. You go to the set backup game, it doesn't go well. And you're now, like, scraping the barrel because you just didn't have a plan for that many things to go wrong. That it's just like, you know what? It's not the day. Alright, so you got a jade sculpture here. Let's go and plunk that in the hospital to make the hospital a little bit nicer. Yeah, now sorry your stream, like, you had to deal with that. Okay, so you want a bunch of cash. Cool, I guess. But yeah, that's I've seen people go through where like their plan just goes sideways and it really derails everything. I too want a bunch of cash. I know, right? I didn't realize that was an option. Just like walk into someone's neighborhood and be like, "Yo, would one of you be willing to just like hand over a bunch of money?" I mean, I guess shoot your shot and everything, but I don't expect to have that. In this game, I help all the refugees out and all the people asking for help because while you don't, like, sometimes you get literally nothing for it, which is fine. They can be really, really generous on what they give you for that money and all that later. People do that in your neighborhood all the time? Gotcha. Where we're at, we have like a no soliciting policy and everything that I've not had to deal with anything, but if people were to do something like that, it'd be like, you need to leave or the police will be out. Not because, like, not being okay with charity or whatever. It's anything. Like, whether it's people, like, coming by your door with their Bible being like, have you found Jesus? Like, hey, you need to go. It's like, it's not even about, like, what views are on religion or whatever. You need to go. People are trying to mind their own business. That's not allowed here. Get out. Even charitable stuff. It's like, hey, there's no soliciting. You need to get out of here. Because half the time the people who show up doing the charities, they're not actually with those charities. They're trying to get you to give them cash, and then they just pocket it. We've had a lot of problems with that kind of thing in the area. Have you heard about Lord Savior? Oh, that was the one I was like, yep, if they bring a... Because, like, I'm not a fan of body purists, but very neurotic and good at plants and medical. Yep. Accept. Welcome aboard. And we'll hit the button, so they are now... Did my button not work? Let's try hitting the button again. Oh, good. It seems like Stream Deck isn't working, so we will do Q... Draw. There we go. Welcome, Captain Insanity. That's deeply concerning that my Stream Deck didn't work there. Hopefully that doesn't become a problem today. Just another to add onto the pile of things not working. Oh, goody. That's been my headache. Is just a bunch of random things not working quite how they should. Nothing as extreme as like servers just straight up not working. Like every other stream, my lighting is completely wrong or whatever. Like I'll have it like one day where I'll be like, you know, it looks like I'm hiding in the shadows. The next day, the green screen's entirely showing up. It's like, oh, I changed nothing. Why are you always not working? Nice stream. But for those who don't know Longclaw, we just had the thing up there. But you definitely should check out Longclaw. Absolutely a fantastic creator. Unfortunately, they are based out of South Korea, which means they're down to their last couple of days here on Twitch, because South Korea Twitch is shutting down there because the ISP rules over there in South Korea are bass-ackwards and make it so Twitch can just simply not function there. So definitely you can still drop them a follow on Twitch while they're here. Hey! How did... Oh! You are sleeping in the same bed. Wait. Oh, they got married. I totally missed the wedding. Hey, we got a baby on the way. Neat. Last day on stream, last Twitch stream is today. Yeah, so today is Longclaw's very last stream on Twitch. After that, they will be on YouTube. And it's not something they want. It's not something they desired. It is just, unfortunately, what has happened. And I don't blame Twitch for it. Literally, South Korean ISP rules are unreasonable. That's my opinion. But the unfortunate side effect is they're no longer going to be on the platform. All right. I kind of like the idea, because of what we got going on here. Let's actually make a dedicated nursery. I never do this. But let's make a dedicated nursery for the babby. Do I have a bunch of jade or something fancy laying around? Oh, I got a whole lot of marble. All right, kiddos. You're not just going to have some cribs. No, no, no. We're going to have a nursery where you'll have some nice...
Dedicated nursery.
Daddy-cated? Oh, I see. Right. I understand. I was like, daddy-cated is like, I don't understand. I get it. I get it now. I understand the joke. I get the reference. It is a daddy-cated nursery. And for now... we're going to put 2 passive coolers in there. Put the toys. Oh, I got to make room for the toys. You're right. Okay, we're gonna move this around just a little bit. We will have furniture, baby decoration, and a toy box. We will have the dedicated passive cooler, so that hopefully we don't have to worry about overheating babies. Because the babies have, like, no heat tolerance to speak of. We also are going to prioritize to put down floors in that room. Cool. All right, and we're working on getting all this sorted. Are you in a weird... Okay, for Mona's like, do they have weird zoning? Did we ever fix our work orders? Okay, so Captain Insanity is staying here. So you are now dedicated to growing stuff. That is your job. That is what you do here. So we actually have a legitimate doctor in our colony now. And Sindoran is ready for having a conversation with you about that heresy of yours. Not really feeling the heresy. It doesn't make me happy. So we're gonna have a conversation about that. Because didn't you have like kind of a really rough one? Blood feeding, males pressing. Oh, we better not fail this. They're already mostly converted. So if we have a positive outcome, they're just going to be one of us. If I have a negative outcome, I might actually ensure they're more in line with that. But let's see it through. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it's effective. And are they converted? They should be converted, right? No, they have literally an invisible amount of view in their ideology. So we're going to follow this up by immediately doing a Sky Lantern thing where everyone will talk about their religion and all that and likely finish it. And they're converted because when they're there, they socially interact very heavily. So it means when you have prolicizer pretty high, you're going to just whittle people down on their ideology. Refugees are leaving. Mid-ceremony? How dare you? It doesn't matter. I got the one I wanted out of the group. And the fire went out mid-ceremony as well. I have a feeling it's not going to be a great ceremony. I feel like that'd be kind of a big killjoy. Beautiful. Never mind. Friendly visitors have arrived to give me a gift. Neat. I mean, it's still better than the very first ceremony we did, which is Andrew as the only colonist because naked brutality, giving a speech to the colony, and it going so well, we got another colonist. We did accept the one. That's Captain Insanity was the one we accepted. Oh, the dating couple? No, we didn't get the second one from there, unfortunately. But we did get a good colonist out of the second batch. Good being relative. They are very neurotic, which means they will have mental breaks much easier. But on the other side, they also have a lot of desirable stuff they've got set up. I want the medicine and the components, and you can have the Molotovs. Like, we're not to the point of really using much in components yet, but we're gonna need tons of them. The party of one, hey. Had a really good monologue. Sometimes you just need a really good monologue. Alright, and they gave us a gift of 13 components. Heck yeah, you know exactly what I want in life. Alright, so we are kind of just waiting on our builders to get their stuff done. They're playing catch up, which is totally fair. I am amazed we're not keeping this animal population down. They're just having so many alpaca. We just can't manage alpaca of that magnitude. I mean, we can just say cull them far more aggressively. But, you know, the alpaca are being fairly prolific right now. How many crops are being eaten? Yes. Yes, number of crops are being eaten. That's part of the reason I want to get this enclosed. Because once I get this enclosed, I'm going to literally make a place for the alpaca. In fact, I'm going to plan for that right now. We're going to go structure, fence. And for the moment, I'm just going to go ahead and cut like this. And we'll reinstall that inside there. And then eventually I'll just make that a grow zone. Alright, we had an electrical short. Poison chokers have arrived and they're going to attack immediately. So I got a shotgun, a auto pistol, or machine pistol, and some tox grenades. Really just... Oh, no, there's two groups. I was about to say, like, really just the three. And a revolver. There's another group over here. Another shotgun. Alright, so it's actually a decent amount. So please put out the fire first. Okay, everyone. Defensive positions. Once they're all in a position, we'll set them to do that. Alright, so we've got a total of 7 enemies approaching. They are split up into different groups, though, so that should be a little bit more manageable than if they were all bunched up. Since they have a lot of range and no major melee, I'm going to have Luxray stand behind cover. And so Doran with their shield is going to kind of hold the fort. I'm going to save the defensive position since we have new people involved. Alright, so these two are going to come together as one group, and the other group's going to be a little late to the party. Pedozia was like, no, man, you don't understand. They've got a firing line. That actually sucks because it means they bunched up a lot more than they would have been. Why would you not move? It's so weird them all rushing like this. Don't go smashing my walls, please. Don't go smashing my walls, please. I mean, you're smashing the door. I guess that's better. Okay, well, that was not a smooth fight at all. Alright, so they are wasters. So, we don't gain a reputation for saving them. You are an abrasive jogger. I'm sorry, friend. You were a slow learner who is ugly. This is not looking good. I don't really want either of those pawns either. Do you have any gear you want on you? It's not looking great. Like, the flak jacket was fine, but it's really worn. I think I'll still take it. Yeah, so, alright. So with that, you... strip him. And strip him. Wasters are nice for royalty, at least? Oh, like, to turn them over to the Empire? I've never actually bothered doing that. But, so haul those urgently. So get the bodies out of here and everything. No storage space. Oh, it's a bio-coated shotgun? Gross. You've disappointed me. Alright, how are people doing? You got some bruises. You were already missing that arm. Yeah, so just bruises. If you think the Empire coming soon, might not be bad. I'm not worried about that. Usually for like getting the Empire stuff, I'll just do quests for them for the thing. I usually don't try and build up the royalty, to be honest. I find a lot of times the needs of the person who we build up the royalty tend to get pretty obnoxious. It's not the end of the world, but... Now here, you go grab the revolver. It's better than what you got. And then haul that home. Okay. Yeah, so we did get some clothing out of it, which is fine. I think one of these pieces of one of these pants that we're seeing here. Actually, that one, don't prioritize that one. I think the pants are because we snagged those. Yeah, we've got like the flak clothing and all that. All right, so Tomb should be home pretty much any time now if she's not already home. So what is going to probably happen here in just a minute or two or whatever is I'm going to take a quick break, quick like 5-ish minute break to welcome my wife home, grab some quick food, and I'll be right back. I usually take the one break during stream right when that happens. I know it's fairly early in the time of her stream, but it's just the timing of when she gets off work and all that kind of stuff. All right, so just getting all the bodies out of here so people don't get all upset about it. We're going to leave that bio-coated stuff there. The tox grenades are something I only ever trade away. I never use. Yeah. I was surprised when even the not melee ones rushed us. That felt like it was a very weird thing. Say hi for chat? Will do. She'll probably pop in here at some point tonight. In the meantime, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to be pausing the game and going to our away screen. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back in just a couple minutes after my break. And thank you again for tuning in. You're showing me that this is perfect. Ah, don't worry, chat. My paint job is perfect. My paint job is definitely not missing anything. The game says we're done here. I especially like, it'd be one thing if it was literally like that was painted, this is nice and uniform, except I got a bunch of like splash over here. Hey, I'm not gonna argue with the game logic. It's perfect. Really going, you know what? That's gonna be an immediate problem. I can't move. I am physically one with the emeralds. The emeralds are me. I am the emerald. Help. I regret this decision. Unstuck. Sure. There we go. It's kind of wiggling to get the trailer to shift, and then turning the wheel straight so I have less resistance. Once I get over this hill, it's going to be so much easier, but we got to get over the hill first. Come on, come on, come on. Oh yeah, no, we already knew we needed a new tractor. I just don't have the money for it. But my hope is that this is the money for it. Oh, I just realized something. How am I going to get onto that plate? If that little incline is too much for us? Because that plate is raised. I mean, I guess we're just going to try and go for it. Momentum, carry me. Actually, it doesn't look like it's going to be that big a deal. I'm hoping. And we're starting to sell the mushrooms.
No, I told him you weren't.
Hey, where are you guys at the venue?
Jonathan. Bartender Jonathan!
Just in front of stage, center stage.
I see you.
How was I supposed to stop?
Let me check my asshole.
Wash your hands.
Just go with this.
Hello.
I was just trying to find the scarf. I was like, if I find the scarf, I'll find Marcus.
I need you to move. Let me in. All right. Can oh no, I can't get out. There, get out. Yeah, that's what I've done, is I told them to get out of the way, and they're just all... Yay! Storge. Walter's asking me questions about my coffee bean dealer. I'm not telling.
Raj is hot.
Raj is hot.
It is good for Raj.
Yes, good for Raj indeed. I love you.
I love you.
Too much just like, Raj is hot. Good for Raj. Raj is like, I know. I am dapper AF. But I'm not telling. I know what he... It counts. It counts. Yeah. Your child will be 100% safe in that treehouse. I wish it kept the treehouse up there, and we could build a bridge that stands. But it takes an engineer to build the bridge that barely stands. All right, I have a potato harvest, all as well as 556. The big downers, we don't have a gun that uses 556. They're extremely rare. Like the weapons that use like 556 and that, the ammo is almost irrelevant because you'll never find enough guns to actually use it. And unfortunately, the gun's the only way to repair. You'll definitely never find the gun that uses it. You do your best, Semi. You got this, buddy. totally dead. All right. I mean, I'll try and blow up more if I can get my hands on more utilities that can blow up. Can I get more dynamite? And since there's two sides of that airlock, this shouldn't be really that bad. Well, we've lost. I thought we had depressurized it.
This event may be recorded for training and quality.
So that's the thing that confused me, is we depressurized it and was exposed to the entire opening. Well, and that brings the end of our hard space shipbreaker run. All right, and I am back, so sorry about that. Just welcoming my wife home. And then we were talking about, there's been, you know, people know I'm in Central Florida. There's been a satire article that's been going around today to a point that I've had people outside of the area being like, oh my God, did you see? And it's like, it's satire. Stop, it's fine. Which is that supposedly at Walt Disney World, that Cinderella's castle had burned down. But it was all satire. So it's been like going through the whole thing of, you know, people's like, oh my God, it's not real. It's on a website that labels itself as satire. There's like, it's not even the people presenting it as reality. They literally are like, this is fake, but it's just really well done, so it looks real. But it's just been a thing, which is what happens. There's a website that their whole thing is they do Disney satire, and every time they have something that picks up waves on the internet, I always end up hearing about people like, oh my goodness, is everything okay over there? It's like, yes. Why would it not be? It's fine. But me and her were joking about, it's like, okay, let's pretend it was real for a moment. Let's pretend that Cinderella's castle actually did burn down at Disney World. That crap would be international news, just because of how iconic of a location it is. Disney has its own place, has its own fire service. I'd be surprised they let that money make burn. So it actually used to be its own fire service. That was actually one of the big things, which we're not going to go into too much because it gets super heated politically, that they used to have it where they oversaw their own fire services, basically run like its own city, which actually had significantly higher amounts of oversight against Disney than they would otherwise be held to. But it became a hot button political issue that supposedly Disney was getting some like special treatment, taxes and all that, which was not true. They actually paid more into the local area, but it now is run by Florida, and is pretty much the epitome of corrupt. Oh yeah, no, the fire service and all that, it's run by what's known as Reedy Creek, which is just like the local area, but that's been handed over to the state government, and it's been 100% like, when you talk about corrupt people putting their own people in positions and all that and not being competent on what they're doing, it's like the poster child for it right now. Even very conservative people in Florida are very upset about what's going on there. In this area. I don't know about like in the Panhandle or whatever who are not affected by it, but it's it's a raging tire fire of a problem. Because it's like not even low-key trying to keep it under wraps. But people just like to have someone to point fingers at and yell at, and that's the political strategy these days. But yeah, we don't need to stick on that. But yeah, so it is one of those things that, like, if you had some place like, you know, any major landmark, like, you know, again, you had any of the major landmarks at Disney, like the Epcot Ball or Cinderella's Castle, where, you know, you show that picture to people and people just recognize it. Or if you went to like the Taj Mahal, which obviously one of these three things is particularly historically significant versus the other ones are more culturally, like, not more culturally, they are culturally right, you know, thing. Or if like the White House burned down again, or if the Capitol building burned down, or like any of these like really things, like if Pisa burned down, which again, some of these are very historically relevant. I'm not implying the Disney ones are. I would argue they're not historically irrelevant, but they're not, you know, thousands of year old building versus something built in the last 100 years. Not in the same thing. But it is a cultural thing. What do we got for you? You got a bit of money. Do you have anything I want? You don't have components. You're not really inspiring. Like how the White House is burned down again. Yeah, no, there's always, again, people like, what? It's like, yep, there was a war that we like to pretend we won, but it's pretty much the British came across, said, stop it, burned down the White House, and went, cool, we're satisfied with, you know, the shellacking we gave them, and went home. And over here, we're like, we won! We got them to go home. It's like, yeah, after they very much handed us our own. I wouldn't really call that a victory. Also, Canada burned it down twice. Well, so as you're talking about the, But the point is, it was one of those ones that we held up that we were the victors. It's like, if you really want to try and finagle it, it's pretty hard to say we won in that particular case. But it is often presented on our end as a, you know, we held firm, and they gave up. So clearly we won. Won by losing too badly. Those forgotten ones sometimes. Yeah, no, that was I'm blanking on which war it was. Cause it was Canada by me, like it came from Canada, but it was like when the US and French were fighting each other, right? If I'm remembering correctly. Okay, so we got imps and they're all rocking bows. This might actually work out okay because they might still be here standing in my kill box when the imps roll in. War of 1812. I think so. That sounds right. Yeah, history is written by things people care about mostly. It's often edited. Oh yeah, and there's a classic, you know, what was it, Call of Duty? It was like, war is written by the... Like, he's quoting someone. It's not originated from Call of Duty. But the old Call of Duty, where like the whole premise is that war is written by the victor. So the guy is like willing to win at any cost because it doesn't matter how awful they are. Because they're like, oh yeah, but if we win, we'll just write it the way we want to. And there's a certain amount of truth to that. If one of the two parties isn't standing anymore to plead their case, then they don't get saying things. So I'm gonna tell our people to hold our fire so that we don't shoot friendlies and make them upset. Yes, history is written by the victor. Yep. And there's a certain amount of truth to that. That caravan is effed. I actually think these group is effed. I mean, unless they're all gonna sit there and eat the whole time. Hey, don't get behind me. Don't use me as cover. That's what I'm doing to you. I'm mostly just not firing because I don't want to accidentally friendly fire my allies here. Well, my friends here. Because if I do, then they're gonna get all mad at me. Alright, so that works out for us. Are you someone we want in our colony? You are a trigger-happy imp. You're good at cooking. And you're good at animals. I don't have a super big... Oh, and you have cancer. And your stomach was destroyed. Look, man, I'll patch you up just to be kind. Because I feel bad. Oh, yeah, I did get rid of the prison. Well, sorry, I actually don't have a prison. I'm not going to put the effort in. Oh, let's check you out as well. A tough psychopath. Nah, I'm not going to worry about it. How pretty is the kill box? I mean, when it's not actively on fire, it's fairly pretty. Alright, you go. Put the fire out on this person. Wait, are you dead? Oh, I thought you were just downed. Okay, I guess you're dead. Oh, hold alt. It would be much prettier other than the corpses. The corpses do have a pretty significant negative on the prettiness. But all the tiles that have the flowers are 4. Oh yeah, no, the reason it's -9 is it's got a bunch of corpses laying in the middle of the room. And those are pretty, well, yeah, corpses and rotting corpses in there. So they're really killing the aesthetics. The feng shui really takes a nosedive. Oh. You shouldn't be on fire. It's bad for your health. Alright. You need statues depicting their grisly deaths. That I haven't looked. What are even our statues depicting? Art. This carving bears the illustration of a star surrounding an eclipse. Man, way to have some boring art. Where's the passion? And this one is... This piece is an illustration of outlaws playing chess. The lower part of the image is dominated by hundreds of scythers. Almost every shape in the image seems to be vertical. I mean, that's better. I was really about to be excited about the arm. I mean, I'll take the goodwill. Actually. It has to satisfy the acolyte. So for acolyte... Oh, you actually need like a throne room and everything. Well, that's gonna be a no, because I can't accommodate you quite yet. I'm working on it. I probably will actually put a nice throne room in here eventually. Get the corpses out of here. Alright. We got a tiny little pile of silver. Well, actually, it's 400 silver. That's not really that little silver. Okay, that's fine. So it didn't really take much injury. I didn't figure we were going to have much problems with the imps running into a armed caravan where it's going to go to melee. That's fine. Alright. And our weapon stockpile is slowly building up. Mostly junk, but you know, it's fine. You have no power. Oh, we're hitting the limit on our power grid? Yeah, that's not surprising. So I really didn't want to put a second one of these right here. But that'll do for now. And we'll put 2 batteries in that room to help support our grid with the windmill. Eventually, I'll probably build more windmills. We'll see. Inspired trade, that's fine. And everyone's already converted, so we're good there. This can actually stay at two, because you know it's gonna go from left to right. Yeah, so we're bottlenecked on our construction right now, which is fine. A buck has chosen death. Congratulations, Buck. You're on the menu. Oh, all that fire did get rid of almost all of our wood, didn't it? It's not my favorite. They are doing a really good job of cutting brick and all that. That's fine. What are we researching? Because it's taking a while, so we could be doing like microelectronics, geothermal would be possible. I don't think maybe fertility procedures or death rest. I don't think so though. It feels like it's an expensive research, which is fine. All right, how are you? You have wake-up addiction. You must have had that when you got here. It's not my favorite. That'll be a rough thing to get rid of the wake-up addiction. Okay, so the beauty right now is 1.4, but that's still with 3 corpses in there. Unfortunately, I don't really have a place I've got set up to get rid of those. So pods. Yep, so the refugees are sending an Archite capsule. Sure. For right now, I'll put that in here as well. So that's something that might be really useful for us later. Maybe, maybe not, depending on what tech we get. Where do I put... We put the beer... Well, the problem is I need the beer to be in a room that's got decent temperature handling. I'll just put it here anyways, it's fine. Yeah, big old bowl of ice cream required? Nice. I go for a big old bowl of ice cream. Sadly, I do not have ice cream in the house at this time. So that is not in the realm of possibility for the moment. There we go. We're actually starting to get some stuff put down to get the pen moved over. Because then we'll get them out of this pen. And what I'm going to do in the meantime, I know I'm going to regret doing this. I'm going to go to the grow zone over... We're going to build a grow zone over here. It's not going to be potatoes. I am going to go with hay grass. Normally I'll put like the dandelions because it's way less labor. But that's fine. But then what we could do is we can go over here and say furniture. And I'll make a couple of marble shelves. To put the hay grass in. It'll say furniture. We'll start with that. You have decided that dire is when stockpiles are low. Grim is when they're empty. My, the things are looking grim if you're out of ice cream. Gotcha. Yeah, no, we haven't been picking up ice cream very often lately. Like, we both me and Toom absolutely are down for ice cream. It's just, you know, you choose where you're spending your money and how you're allocating your freezer space, and it's not been making the cut lately. Yeah, the problem is there's 2 phases to the, to hay grass versus 1 phase. But the advantage is when you get like toxic fallout or cold snap and it kills off all your hay grass, you will have some sitting on the shelves. It's just remember to take all your things and be like, hey, don't keep hay grass here. Oh, that's actually... That's a mistake. Don't do that. Because running the power line directly underneath it means when it shorts, it'll set that off. Yeah, so I can't even do that one. We're not going to Royal Ascent. We could do the spaceship. Like, I've been basically just sitting on those quests for finding the artifact. We'll eventually do that. It's still pending approval for powers that be in the house. Was it extremely likely to pass? What? You're looking at the chicken pot pies that are on sale and decided it'd be the most efficient way to buy mini chest freezer while they're on sale since hunting season is over. Yeah, no, that's like, it's a thing when you go to like my parents' generation that so many people had like the chest style freezers in their houses. Like, my parents are no exception. Well, actually, I think it was in our house up north we had the chest style, and then we had a stand up freezer when we moved down to Florida. And it's one of those things that's like, yeah, it's absolutely worth it if you're gonna store stuff. And you put a ridiculous amount of freezer in there. The big issue is, where would we put it? Because, like, 2-car garages nowadays are, like, really kind of 1.5-car garages. And so there's, like, really no room there. There is a place I could potentially put it in the kitchen. But it's one of those things that, like, you know, we get rid of, there's a table that would make room for the freezer. And, you know, sure, you could use the top of the freezer as a table, so it's pretty reasonable. I don't know. But then you gotta pay for the power for it and everything, which isn't too terrible. But it's also a way you can get, you know, you can buy in bulk when stuff is on sale and freeze it. They're not a bad idea. Because like I said, you can instead of buying a little bit of food because your freezer capacity is so limited, you can buy like larger things, and then just take them out as well. Because a lot of stuff once frozen, it doesn't necessarily last forever, but it lasts a really long time. Like usually most of the time when things go wrong kind of thing, it's just hey Phil, good seeing you again. If it have a thing, it just ends up being a problem like it getting badly freezer burned, which may mess with the texture, but it's safe to eat. A muffalo is self-tamed. I mean, I have alpaca. And I can't remember which wool is better. So 50, 21. The alpaca wool is better. Alright, sorry, Muffalo. $120 turkeys, chest freezer has your back. Well, that's kind of those things that you can potentially do, is you can do those ridiculous things where you get a whole bunch of stuff. One of these days I'll actually... let's not actually do that. My chances of having that turn out well are pretty bad. We've been putting off making a proper room for doing rituals and all that. It's actually looking pretty not good. So we're waiting for that to get built in here. But then my plan would be to make another set of rooms probably over here. Normal freezer is so inefficient when open and closed, but chest freezer is... chest freezer vertically is lovely. Yeah. I still find it interesting that I can use that as the Jubilee of Faith location. And does it have even worse chances? No, it's the same. Yeah, so just trying to get this area enclosed to get expansion. I'll probably put more bedrooms up here. And I don't know what we'll put down here. We'll put something in that area. Let's see. Would be funny to design a fridge with a chest freezer at the bottom. Access through the freezer. Sell to almost no customers. Oh, it'd be incredibly inconvenient. Yeah, so we got our floors all set up here. Alright, so the only clothing we've got here is set up for Chaos Costume to do it. Our storage is just full now. So we need a trade caravan to roll through so we can get rid of stuff. One thing we can do in the interim that'll help a little bit is, as much as I don't want to go into the fine meals, that will burn some stuff. That'll be pretty good. So we can keep training our cooking. We won't get our full... because it'll just rot because we can't do refrigeration yet. We don't have the tech. We won't be taking full advantage of it because this is full. We've got plenty of raw food. Let's burn it. Fridge with freezer drawer on the bottom can be found. Oh yeah, no, like the freezer drawer that pulls out. Yeah, no, I think what's being talked about in this case is, as a vertical one, it'd be you'd go into your fridge, you'd open your fridge door, and then open the freezer door through the bottom of the fridge door. Which would be one of those things like, okay, it'd be efficient, but you know, it would be incredibly inconvenient because you'd need to have enough space to open the door up into your fridge, which means you'd have the bottom at a minimum like 12 inches you couldn't use, if not more. Yeah, loss of storage space. Exactly. But it would be efficient. I mean, at that point, you're better off just having a chest freezer. Yeah, I don't know what those run nowadays. I imagine they probably start like 150, 175 for chest freezer, I'd guess. I have absolutely no idea. I've never looked at it. I imagine that's one of those things when it comes to appliance stores that are like infrequent purchases. Because they're also not things that particularly break that often. Alright, so you got a bunch of food. You do not have components or anything like that. I really wish they would start carrying things I actually want. That's all fine. Go ahead and take these trace amounts of fabric I don't need. Cool. Talk to them again. So they're at 76. Fair enough, we'll go ahead and push them a bit higher. Yeah, so 76, that would put us at 90. That's fine. Actually, I lied. We'll do 1,000 of that. And we'll go here, we'll do 500 of this. 76. Perfect. Maxed out. Because that'll clear up a bunch of storage space in here. Doesn't look like it. We cleared up a bunch of storage space in here. And that'll be good. I just need to get more of that out of here. But once I get that, I will set up another set of bedrooms here. We'll go, like, I haven't decided. We'll put a room here. I haven't decided what that room will be. It could actually be the Xeno Tech whatever thing. We can move over there. All right. Tech factory. Well, right now, I have no idea because we have the random research when we're going to get over to like fabricator and all that. So I'm not going to worry about that right this moment. But I could definitely see the, we did unlock the thing where you could like pull genes and do that kind of stuff. So I could see putting over there the thing where we can pull genes and, you know, make the germs or whatever. That I could potentially see trying to start collecting genes to give me more options for pawns. Yeah, the genetics lab, because if I get like dead calm, then I'm down to start taking stuff like Hussar and Imps and some of these ones that have like the aggressive trait, because I can just short circuit the aggressive trait. Cool. Are we going to get any freebies out of this? I mean, we get a free grizzly bear, so I guess it's not nothing. How are you doing? Not great, but you'll probably be okay. Okay. You're doing really good in getting all this set up. Once Lardine gets that closed off, we'll manually move that, and that should bring all the alpaca in here. We'll definitely need to knock the population of alpaca probably down a lot. But that's fine. Because those alpaca are probably contributing a pretty good amount of wealth. Oh, here's another thing we can do. forget moving the game So the game is cerebral. Then go to recreation, I believe. The poker table is probably cerebral as well. Let's actually grab the billiards table first. And grab the billiards table. That'll end up taking the place of the hoop ring. And then when we get the research table over here, we can put the poker table up there, and that'll be cerebral. The Great Alpaca Calling of Jogust 5503. Something like that. Up here come all the alpaca and the boomalope into the new area. Alright, let's grab you three. So we will link these. We'll go to settings, we'll clear all, we'll say critical. You get hay, and you get kibble. Nothing else. You get animal feed, that's what you get. You're always too scared to have both genders of boomalope? Yeah, because you end up having to manually release them again and again. Because you can't put them to slaughter because they explode. Yeah, or you can sell them in bulk when a trader shows up. But one thing I will start doing is, as we clear this area out, you notice I've got like the thin paths here. I'm going to make this so there's like the full width paths. But I do think I want to mix it where it's like you have sandstone in the middle, you have like marble around the outer edge and all that. We're going to make this place heckin' fancy because we got a lot of build. So we'll build. The big thing though is I need to reach a point that we have drilling. Which then the plan is just going to be find a spot where I can get marble that I can build myself basically an infestation defensive spot, and then we'll just plan to drill there for effectively ever. That way I have just a source of marble. And then we'll use the sandstone as filler for defenses and perimeter stuff. Which will probably mean I'll have a second spot there, but that's fine. That's more things we build. Your theory for paths is 5 wide, 3 middle for walking, outer edge for every other tree shelf with lights. Takes up too much space. Yeah. Right now I'm just doing the 3 wide because we can potentially go, if we have dangerous points, we can put, walls here to cut it down to a choke point. That could be a defensive position. Like, we just started this because this was a convenient shape for starting. And it looked good. Alright, let's go ahead and start planning this stuff out here. We're going to line you up there. Yeah, so it's 1 tile above the door. We'll go 1, 2, 3. It won't exactly match that block over there. So you had 6 tall. Oh, right. That's not that small. We go 5 up. Then over. Then we have the 5. Then we go up here. Why are you dazed? Oh, your wake-up addiction. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so you can go here. Go there. Stop social fighting, please. Alright, so let's see how wide this is. This is 31 tiles wide. Hey, Jaywalker, how's it going? You always found, you like doing the 3 wide? Yeah, and there's a strategic reason to do 3 wide for, like, defensive purposes and all that. Hey, Jaywalker, how's it going? Yes, we're just figuring out our next batch of rooms. So if I made it 6, it's planned for it to be 5. And go 5. Oh, I want to do that from the other side. Baby prep. Look, I do need them to actually go down there and build that. They should actually be building that. There's not a whole lot else for the construction people to work on that isn't involved in baby prep. If necessary, I can manually intervene and have them do it. So 5. Do this again, so 5. Oh, and it's gonna work out exactly right. Heck yeah, that never happens. So we're gonna build 10 more bedrooms up there. So I've got that planned out, we're just waiting for it. Cool. You're still waiting for that. So where is our construction person going right now? Who was our it was very last Sardine. You're building the marble table, the billiard table, which is an interesting choice. But like I said, I'm not gonna queue up the next building here, so they've only got that to build. And then basically the baby's room. They could also work on this room, making it sterile floors, which of course would make sense. We don't actually have a lot of steel on hand. I'm not super worried about that. Yeah, so you're gonna have a rough time because you are getting over your wake-up addiction, which is what they arrived with. Alright, we're finally at the time where we're going to start rotating through cutting down the trees, so I hopefully won't need to manually tell them to cut down trees much anymore. Till we have like a proper toxic fallout or... Alright. Bertha has contacted you 19 days ago. You helped in desperate circumstances. They've got back on their feet and now want to reward you properly. So they gave us a tough skin gland, a bunch of uranium, a stone skin gland, and an Eltex helmet. Sweet. Now I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so it slightly reduces their movement speed. It gives them a pretty decent beauty penalty, but it's like wearing armor without armor. And then the stone skin gland is the more extreme version of it, which is interesting. Oh yeah, no, that's I've had really good luck with the refugees. This is a pretty generous one here, but I've had really good luck with refugees things. I think it also helps on like how much you helped, but yeah, this is a bit of an outlier so far as the stuff we've gotten from them in the past. I'm gonna have you move that research bench right now while they're asleep. Now, meanwhile, you could just deconstruct that, because this has the exact same recreation type, but it's better at it. And it looks better. Okay. Because your pawn's blue? Yep. Oh, wait, which one? Okay, don't deconstruct that. Basically, I'm telling them to tear that wire out. Because originally we were going to do a thing where I was going to make a circle of fans, and I realized, people pointed out rather, that it was one tile off of actually being something that could be done the way I wanted to do. Alright, I'm going to intervene real fast and tell you to work on this room down here. I don't need you to have everything done. I just need you to actually have, like one of the cribs and the light ready. Everything else is kind of a secondary option or whatever, but I need you to at least get the basics for getting that room built. And now you're going to knock it all out. That's fine by me. Let's see. If you build some roofs, you might be able to fit it. Fit what? Oh, the wind turbines? So I would need to adjust this room to be a little bit larger. Because you see this area? I would need to move that down, and I think I need to have like one higher. So it's not just the roofs I need to... Oh. You're going to drop right in here? Okay, so... This is definitely not my favorite. So grab everyone. You two get in position here. You know, do we just engage this? I think we do just engage this. I'm going to take a little bit of a risky play here. Okay, so you position here. You position there. Nicely done. So bio. Nope. And you? Careful shooter who is a waster and is really good at plants, social and all that. You do have a psychic dependency. You lost a finger. So you have the aggressive trait, which is not my favorite. I'm willing to give you a go. You know what? I am willing to give you a chance, friend. I don't think it's a good... I need to make a prison. I don't think it's a good idea, but I never do take wasters. So I am feeling somewhat kind in this very moment. So you should thank me. Oh, I didn't even check you. Oh yeah, that's right, you're terrible. Gear, your gear's terrible. Did any of you have anything special? Not really. Okay. So get the weapons out of here. Go ahead and close that door. Because originally I was going to stand over here and be like, let's wait and see what they bring to the table. And I'm like, you know what? They are landing... Ah, cut to the eye? Come on. I mean, at least you did it to a melee pawn, but still. Oh, I was wondering, as I sat there, I was like, man, I don't understand. Like, he must have got hit hard. I forgot I had the traps here, so it just happened to... Okay, you're tending to him. You're really in a bad position for this, but we'll see if you can save it. Prisoner. Convert. Okay, you got this. But yeah, so manage to bring them in, careful shooting, and then we'll have them be able to help out with our stuff. It's mostly trying to bring in a bit of variety of xenotypes, if we're gonna go ahead and do like the genetic stuff. It can be fun to mess with that. Alright, and we'll see how that goes. Hope he doesn't haunt his Deem because his name is Wrath. Yeah, so that's, so they got a need for drugs. They got a lot of resistance. I'm actually probably gonna try and get rid of some of these things. Like the aggressive trait, that's the big one I want to get rid of. I can live with a lot of the other stuff, but that aggressive trait, I do not like aggressive. Just the amount of social fights it leads to is not worth it. That's, I've seen people do runs where they start as Neanderthals, and it feels like that's the big fight, is like none of their other penalties seem to matter, it's just they kill each other the entire time you're trying to have your colony. Alright, so again, our hospital all switched over to have sterile floors. Exotic goods trader. Alright, well, we're still in the market for an arm. If you'd be so kind as to deliver me an arm, I would much appreciate that. How's the red paint everywhere? Carnage every day? Oh yeah, they're so rough. So I mean, these are good, but I don't have what I need to handle them first. Like, super immune would be excellent. Not really worry about the rest of that. We already have a TV. I might actually give up our stone glands and all that, if we have something worth getting here. But we'll see. So I've got Glitter World, give that to me, give me the components. They don't have what I really want though. Asar's event, genies to craft them new arms. Alright. So is there anything else I want to give up in the meantime? Not really. Probably fine. Because we're getting components and all that, so that's fine. It would be nice if I had the other room already set up. I could have taken advantage, but we still got enough that has to be built. You want me to build stuff, and you're willing to give me a psychically deaf night owl who's good at crafting. I mean, that's not a bad pawn. Building is still right now my big priority. I don't think I'm gonna grab that one. Like, it's not a hard quest or anything like that. It's really weird it's giving me that amount of reputation, but that's fine. We'll sit on it for a minute. Azar's an event and Genius crafting arms, since they'll keep losing limbs and such. Yeah, that's my whole thing, is when I have aggressive pawns, it usually ends up being a thing that what kills me is all my people social fighting all the time, that a raid shows up and I have, like, of my 11 pawns, like, 6 people are badly injured before the fight starts. And you're just like, the raid didn't kill me, my people killed themselves. And then the raid was just the means of which it finally came to a proper end. We're back to RimWorld. We've been playing RimWorld on and off a lot for a while. Like, honestly, since the hot potato, we've been... Like, we'll take a week off of RimWorld or two, and then we'll be right back into it. Yeah, knows the new base area? Yep, we're working on it. But yeah, we're waiting on construction is the big thing. So space is up by 3. Oh, I don't want that spacing to be what is. It's fine. I'll put something around the geothermal, like put roses or something there to make it look good. Muffalo's gonna attack everyone? Well, you see, there's a group of people over here that are looking mighty attackable right now. If you would be so inclined, Buffalo. That's not the way to the easy targets. It's fine. We could deal with this. Defensive positions. Okay. Wasn't there an extra tile geothermal for fancy? Oh, this extra tile here? That's I'll put barricades there. And then we put the wall around that so that they can't drop pod in on the geothermal and trash before it can defend it. So this will effectively be just short of solid, but be able to go in and put out the fire. And I figured we'd probably put our mortars here eventually. And then we'd have like this one area that's kind of off by one. I could see putting like a row of roses or something to look aesthetic along here. It could even be like a couple of columns or whatever. Oh no, the only problem we put the wall directly around the geothermal is if the geothermal catches fire. They can't physically reach it to put it out. You'd have to tear down the walls to get to it. So by putting the one-line barricade, they can walk on the barricade to put out the fires. But then it still blocks it, so, you know, drop pods can't hit it. I guess it's the issue of wooden walls. Well, I mean, even if you put stone, if something happens, like you get a, say, for example, the mech cluster that has the mortar that could drop a fire mortar on your geothermal, and then your geothermal's on fire and you can't physically reach it to put it out. I mean, it's not a super big issue. Yeah, so we are learning microelectronics. Okay. No, you still put the door on there, but your character will walk up to this side of the geothermal, and you'll have fire on the other side, and they'll just stand here, and they can't physically get to the other side. So this is just to make it a prevention for fire. Or if you have a pyromaniac run in and start lighting it on fire. Well, I mean, the pyromaniac wouldn't be concerned because it wouldn't be able to reach the other side. It's not that big of an issue, but this is just a way of making it so it's a not issue. You thought the entire building was set on once? Not the entire thing? I don't believe so. I've had times where I had the wall directly around it that they would stand on one side of the geothermal and it would just burn even though they could reach the one tile. And then when it broke a wall through the other side, they'd start putting out the other side. It could be like a quadrants kind of thing or something like that, because geothermals are giant. So if it was ever in the middle, you couldn't put it out. So I think there's some kind of logic, like maybe this quarter or this quarter. I don't know exactly how it works. But I do know when I've walled off directly around it, on the very rare occasion I've had problems when it caught fire. That I just couldn't put it out. It's been a while though, but it's been it's been since biotech came out, but it's also been a while since then. All right. Also, amusingly, with how big they are, they don't always render. I haven't had them not render before. I have had weird stuff happen with like pathing and all that kind of stuff related to it, but not like a rendering issue. Oh, storage, clear, critical, baby food. And meanwhile, I totally forgot you don't have baby food queued, so let's get that up here on the list. And also I forgot assign food restrictions, select restriction, lavish. Do not eat corpses or raw food, or baby food. The rendering calling didn't take into account 6x6 geothermal. Yeah, like I said, I personally haven't run into it. We put in the core screen while you still set the rest of it. They should go invisible. Gotcha. I haven't particularly noticed it. I believe you, but I haven't particularly noticed it myself. Quest expires. That's fine. It's good rewards. It's not a big effort, but all the space I have here I'm planning on using, and construction is our bottleneck. I don't want to waste on something else. Keep working on what we're working on. You know, I have to remember to grab the beds and everything out of here. Oh, cloth double bedroll? I mean, the bedrolls are worth keeping for when we're caravanning. I'll wait. Just let the fish. Okay, so it looks like the daycare, whatever you want to call nursery, is done. So that's good. And so we're going to have the bigger... Volcanic Winter, heal mech serum. Yes. No questions. The answer is yes. Because I got plenty of food. I can absolutely absorb that. And a heal mech serum. Yes. The answer is just yes. Now, unfortunately, I don't believe the heal mech serum will put an arm back on. That could repair the eye. I don't think I'm going to use it for that. Yeah, I don't think I'll use it for any of the things we got here. I'd rather save that for like a brain injury or something truly bad. And they might put the arm back on. I actually don't know. I also feel like I would save it. It is one of those things. We've had the discussion before that people be like healing mech serum that they'll think that it cures almost everything. It does cure a lot of things, but usually people overestimate how good it is. It's amazing. I might not be able to save you if I want to. Which I'm gonna be honest, I really don't want to. Sorry, friend. You only had like 4 hours to live anyways, so it's gonna be tight trying to just save you. And then you're jealous and all sorts of stuff, so... Sorry, friend. Who's not really a friend? Yeah, so apparently we've run out of steel is the big thing going on. As to why not more stuff isn't getting constructed. Do we have someone who's dedicated to mining yet? Not really. It is our construction person, unfortunately. Fire 2, that's what I was looking at. It's like you got a small package of bad times. So I'm gonna say that's probably gonna be a no. A rat has chosen death. So I'm going to start working on setting up the next set of bedrooms. Actually, I forgot I could go straight across that. You're in labor. I will deal with that in just a moment. Everyone knows the baby will wait, right? That's how that works. You just be like, this is an inconvenient time, small child. We're gonna just do this tomorrow. Right? Alright. So who is our best doctor? Okay. So we're gonna go here. Alright. Sorry, it's surprisingly difficult. Yeah. Like I said, it's a problem I haven't had too many times. Healthy baby, come on, healthy baby. No dying, just healthy baby. Healthy baby. Yay! Name the baby. All right, and we have for today. Stream Deck not working, so cue draw. Who gets to be the healthy baby? Congratulations, Darth Strider. You can be the healthy baby. Who is immediately going to be left on the floor unattended. Excellent. That is certainly a life choice of some kind. All right. There should be no shortage of steel on the map. I just need to mine it. I just don't have a dedicated mining person, so they've only been mining when they have been able to build things. Oh, and we can also go here, furniture, sorry, recreation, a marble poker table, furniture, chairs, cool. Sounds like a minor issue. Yep, it happens. So our research is stalled because I took apart the bench not realizing I didn't have enough steel. That's fine. Yeah, for me, most of the times I've had the geothermal catch fire was the bzzzt, or the bzzzt event. That one, and I believe I've had the mech clusters with mortar set it on fire before. Is about the 2 times I've got. That's the reason why I was like, it's like, okay, this does make it easier. Yeah, that's kind of one of those things that's like you can catch fire and you could put it like, and that it doesn't happen very often with normal situations. So it's really not that big an issue, but I always end up designing this after I did build the one with the wall directly around it where it caught fire, and I kind of stared at it and went, oh crap. Because my character couldn't get around to put out the other side and would just stand there. And then when I tore down a wall to the other side, they could reach that. And like by that point, it had already taken too much damage. I lost the generator, but as well as like lesson learned kind of things. Then an extra tile is not a big deal. And this will be our like genetics lab in here. We're not going to worry about actually building the genetics lab part of it quite yet. I need the steel to get other stuff set up, so that'll be a nice to have later. But till we get there. Also, as far as you go, feeding is urgent for everyone except Mom. That way, you know, our construction slash growing person doesn't get tied up forever where they start falling behind. We're going with the takes the whole village. And you had, was it a bolt action? So the problem is my weapon shelves have already filled up. Let's go through here. So we had all weapons were set. We're gonna change some of that. Melee weapons. No, 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 no. The longsword will be a yes. The mace will be a yes. Mono swords will say sure. Zeus hammer, yes. We'll go to ranged weapons. No on the... Actually, that's fine. No on the bows. No on the incendiary launcher. No pilas. No recurve bows. No sharp bows. I'll leave the rest on there. Conversion. Okay, so Wrath or Wraith or whatever. Wraith. You're converted, so now it's time to start recruiting you. And we'll need to make sure we keep some Scythe around for them. Oh, we got the uranium sword in here. Go get your uranium sword. Animal disease plague. Well, that's very unfortunate for the animals, I will say the least. Tox we can get out of here. Then go to grenades. Honestly, don't worry about grenades. We got a dedicated storage for the grenades you want up there. Basically, I'm trying to clear it out so that way I can see what we have. I'm pretty sure we got a hold of a bolt action, though. Like, that's what's throwing me off is... Oh, no, we already... What am I doing? The bolt action's right there. It's fine. That's fine. Alright, we're fine. Let's see. By the way, Rual, maybe you missed it, but I posted a quote from the wiki. Long story short, yes, here heal mech serum can replace limbs. Gotcha. I figured there was a good chance it could. But it's always those things I tend to get dubious because there's a lot of things it can and can't do. They're pretty powerful. They're definitely, like, there's a reason why the moment it had a mech healing serum, it's like, yes, we're taking it. Like, yes, that's a want. That can save pawns' lives. It can get rid of otherwise permanent injuries. Or massively inconvenient to recover from injuries. Alright, Alpaca, let's talk. Man, I already have them cut down to... I'm happy to reduce the population a lot. Because they are just eating themselves out of house and home. Because they're just making an endless series of baby alpaca. Alright, so again, a good quality bed here. And there's the dresser. And a side table. And another side table. Okay. I have not. I might have to. Because he did the heal mech serum heal everything or just a single injury? It heals just one thing. And it does have a priority list. So it's not actually random. It's just sometimes the priority list isn't what people expect it to be. Like, it's a predictable... Like, you can go to a pawn and go, okay, here's the 3 eligible things for the first priority kind of thing. And all that stuff. Yeah, limbs are top priority. See, I would be like that catches me by surprise. Like, don't get me wrong, I could see limbs being a higher priority, but there's definitely stuff I would put ahead of limbs. But it is one of those things that, because the game, it is one of those things I wish, like, just in vanilla, when you go to use the heal mech serum, it would go onto the list here and say, okay, use heal mech serum to heal
What's
psychic
this?
toads.
Oh, what did I make it say? Darn it. Drawing a blank. Butts. Yeah, that works.
Hey, Salrexy, how's it going? Yeah, so a bunch of our alpaca are going to die from animal plague, which is fine. But is it testing while doing the geothermal nutrient paste hoppers are more broken than you realized? That doesn't surprise me. Sorry. I don't want you bringing the animals back in here. They're all about to die of plague anyway. But that's just the population correcting itself. That's all. That's Cassandra saying, you have too many animals, I'm taking them back. Yeah, so basically we're having, like... I just realized I don't actually want it like that. We want it to have vents. Because those vents are going to be important for putting the heaters in the middle here to keep this space done. This might be too big for an AC to handle, but we'll find out. If it does end up being too big, I might just go to like 1 or 2 of these places and shove the AC on the outside, as opposed to on one end of the like ventilation hall, whatever you want to call it. But we can worry about that when we get there. Another thing we can do is get rid of that wall. And that spot too. Because then we can go and like make the roads through there and all that as well. Let's see. Nutrient paste dispenser not just reduce food consumption, but also prevents food poisoning for exchange of a bad mood if not transhumous. Oh yeah, no, there's a reason why a lot of colonies, even if they take the mood debuff, will still do the nutrient paste, because it is a very powerful thing. A nutrient paste dispenser can also be used to, well, I don't know if it's not meant to do that, or is it deliberate. I think that's a deliberate design decision. Because you can actually also, well, he did some extra time through geothermals, nutrient paste. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, if you got actual bugs there. But like, there's actually another thing. It's, you know, you can call it a bug or a feature, but you can use food sources your people normally not okay with eating. And oh, the UI is bugged. Gotcha. Yeah, but you can use stuff that your people are normally not okay eating, put them in a nutrient paste dispenser to effectively circumvent a lot of the like-dislike kind of things. Alright. But then you get a mood penalty. There's a reason why nutrient paste dispensers are so popular. They effectively let you work around a lot of problems. Double clicking doesn't select all hoppers. You can't drag select multiple if the food isn't on top. Select about hopper. Oh yeah. I've never had a need to run multiple food nutrient paste dispensers. I could see why, like, you could reach a point that, if not necessary, would be a very important convenience thing, though. Alright, so if I were to go over here, do furniture, build another wood bed there, then grab the end table here, grab the dresser, grab the other end table. I think that basically takes all the furniture we yanked out of here. We've got the bed rolls, but those I'm fine keeping. Yeah, so we're just burning through materials here. Once we stop having materials to build all this, they'll go to mine. Well, they'll take apart this wall, but then they'll go to mining. You go that. It says, what are reasons? Kevin says, what are reasons I'm not using the nutrient paste at all? Except my run demands it. But as broken as it is, I prefer taking 1 or 2 food poisonings for a better mood. Plus, the better chef and the less food poisoning. Yeah, no, it's, I usually, because I don't think even transhumans, I don't think demand nutrient paste so much as they don't take the negative debuff. So it's like it's neutral for them to eat the nutrient paste, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong in that detail. Because I usually, yeah, they just don't mind. So it's still, even if you're transhumanist, worth making meals if you want to try and keep the mood bonuses. Yeah, so we should be able to keep the number alpaca down pretty soon. They just gotta wait till like the next round of them. But sometimes it gets rough. Then run demands it. I've not had a run that I need to do it. I imagine you could make the excuse of stuff like, if you're doing something like ice sheet and whatever, that there would be reasons to go after that. Alright, so 4 huskies. Oh, I'm wrong. 7 huskies. Got the first one finding its way into the kill box. I wish they were smarter about pathing. Alright, they're just not finding their way there. So let's go way over here. Okay, we've got 3 more. Now we need to get off this corpse. Eclipse, I don't really care. Alright, and how are you doing? Got a couple of nibbles each. Who let the dogs out? I don't know, but they were awfully inconsiderate about it. On the upside, we haven't been getting a whole lot of training for our combat skills, so it does help. It's not really my favorite way of leveling them up is to shoot dogs, but I mean, the game isn't really giving much choice in the matter. I could lock the door, but then you have problems where if an actual legitimate raid shows up in the meantime, they'll target your walls instead of your kill box a lot of times. That's sad. I mean, I've given them a giant space. We are trying to knock down the population. As you can tell by all the animals starving in the area. Alright, so let's change this to 2, 4, but we're going to allow them to go and get rid of ones that are going to have offspring and all that. I just have to get the alpaca population down. There's just too many alpaca. Yep, so we're knocking down the alpaca population a bunch. That should help. All right. I feel like, Lardine, I need to give you a priority right now of mining. You're going to be building forever and we're never going to get the research bench built, so I need to prioritize you mining for a little while. Get yourself some steel. And get that going. I potentially have Andrew also step in, where if they're not growing stuff, go mine. That should help a little bit. That's not a useful spot to mine, but they'll get done here in a second, then I won't worry about it. Storage is super full. Well, if they're gonna take that, so we can have you stay on that and Andrew could stay on the mining. Gives a dwarf and he's digging a hole. That do be what the dwarves do. They diggy hole. Alright. You don't know where all these song references come from today? like Diggy Diggy Hole, I don't even remember where that comes from. Like, I've definitely heard the meme enough times, but like genuinely I draw a blank. I was like, wait, where is that from? Yogscast? Then I definitely didn't see it. Like, I've seen some Yogscast, but I don't remember it, so like that being part of it, so very, very clearly it's one of those things I've just long since forgot. I think it started with one of the Minecraft series. Yeah, I also have never been a particular person to watch, you know, a bunch of Minecraft content, so nothing against it, it's just not been a personal draw for me. Alright. Like, they're entertaining. It's just not one of those things that I personally put time into. That's fine. That is the animal population self-correcting. Okay, you're rescuing them. Feed the boomalope. That's higher priority. I only got one boomalope, so we gotta keep it alive. But the other animals, like, I got spares. I got backups. How are they starving? The hay grass hasn't grown enough because there's just too many that they're eating. They're like eating more. They're eating the hay grass faster than it can recover. But we're knocking the population down to solve that. Prisoner Dan. Alright. So... okay, paralytic abasia, but you're willing to give me specialized limbs? Alright. I'm listening. Oh, that's not open? That's fine. For right now, you get a spot on the floor. And convert them. Alright. Pro tip, never use a certain type of animal from the mod alpha animals as a battle animal unless you want notifications spammed with thunderstorm when they die. Yeah, there's always those kind of things. Meanwhile, how are you doing? We're working on recruiting you. Let's get one last thing to move there out of that group. Alright. Might be best to put them in a tiny box and dump hay on the shelf. Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, honestly, it won't be that. Like, you've already seen we've knocked the population down a lot because this was scrolling multiple screens. And we're basically containing how many they're allowed to have in the first place. So that should address the overpopulation issues. We just need the chance for this to grow. We're also in volcanic winter, which is penalizing our growing as well. So it's a particularly bad time for them. I'm not too particularly worried about it. It'll get self-sorted out. That's part of why Andrew Bits is having so much time to mine. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. That's part of why they're getting so much time that they can go down here and mine right now, is because all the growing stuff is slowed down. But pretty soon that should give us the steel we need to build a bunch of these other things that are just kind of stuck at the moment. It's fine. And then very last, Lardine is going to run out of things to build soon because they're getting way ahead on the usage of marble. Because they're trying to future-proof housing for a bit. Why marble? Because I have a choice of marble or sandstone on the tile. So I'm using sandstone for like defensive structures and perimeters because it's stronger, and then marble for everything else. Yep, and marble has a beauty bonus. It also is going to blow up the colony value, but I've got 2 materials to choose from. And for the selections I made, they seem like the logical choices for each. Nope. Spacecraft is always nice. Craft chunk, whatever you want to call it. Set those to be quick hauled so they don't rot out there. But yeah, once we get the mining drills, it's very genuine that we're going to probably end up with a lot of marble to spare. That's something I fully expect to be a thing. Cool. Yeah, the volcanic winter, I believe, should be letting up soon. Yeah, I got about not quite 5 more days. And then this should grow faster, and those should grow faster again. But I've got enough raw food and cooked food. I'm not worried about total food at all. It's more so the alpaca, you know, being fed and whatnot. Let's see, the extra wealth is worth it when it helps your colony mood and slow down the desire to murder each other. Yeah, no, it's always a juggle, though, because the colony wealth will directly determine the severity of the attacks and whatnot, or the severity of the events. Not that they happen or not, just like, do you get 5 pawns attacking you or do you get 20? That's what wealth will like heavily weigh into. So there's those considerations if you're struggling to win fights. Nice, you got the 100 plus points? Yeah. We had a tier 3 sub earlier today that put us up to the line, so we should be locked in for this month. Obviously, extra plus points won't hurt anything, but that should have us locked in. I'll definitely confirm tomorrow before stream, because I only update it like every 6 or 8 hours or whatever it is, on Twitch's side, to verify on Twitch's side that it shows the correct number. And as long as it says that, we should be good. Worst case, it might be off by like 1, but even then I don't anticipate that, because we had 2 regular, like tier 1, or sorry, we had a tier 2 sub, and then we had a tier 3 sub earlier today to push us over the last, no, actually, was it 2 tier? The point is we had enough subs. We had enough subs. That does remind me, how many subs have we had today? Because I just realized I haven't done the Lego. So I owe 1 Lego for Bunker Joe. I owe 1 Lego for She-Wolf. Yes, we had just the... No, actually, we also... Well, okay. I wish it told me when. Was Harry Balzac yesterday? Should do 6 Lego for tier 3. So I debated doing that. I haven't come to a decision. Yeah, so Randall Thor was definitely yesterday. Okay, so we have two Lego I need to do today. Because it was just saying today as its text. Yeah, so it's just 2 today. I debated doing something like that where it's like, okay, tier 3 gets extra Lego and all that. And I'm not against it. At this point, we're honestly just about done with this kit. Or 5, since it's the price of 5. I wouldn't be against doing that. Like, I definitely feel like there are gonna be some people like, but I did this yesterday. It's like, I'm not gonna remember, like, all the details and how many AO with that. We're getting really close to this thing being done. Like, part of my thing is I'm not ready to buy another Lego kit because they're hecking expensive. We purchased 3 months of subs. Maybe it came through in Twitch like Mary. Oh yeah, it'll only show up like one sub at a time. Honestly, I thought it'd take much longer to finish this kit. I did too. Very genuinely. I thought we were talking like early June to maybe early July as when I kind of had on like my mental, okay, that should be about where the math works. Like maybe late April. I hadn't anticipated people being so absurdly generous last month where we did like, it was like 290 or 300 pieces all in one go. And then that wasn't all we did that day. It was just like, literally we had to change the category to crafting and makers because people were like so over the top generous that is like, we're just doing Lego for the next 3 hours. Did we actually build the moon rover? So it's actually a Mars rover. It's not quite done, but we're like to final details. Like, let me go ahead and actually get that because I do owe 2 pieces. So let's go ahead and get those because the people have been waiting on those for a while. But like, you look at this thing, the zoom's gotten changed again, of course, but that's okay. It's a workable zoom. Like, this is all the pieces we got left. Like, that's for the rest of the kit. So where we left off is I put this worm gear here. So 1 piece. This is going to be real exciting. Hold on to your butts. Because all we're going to do is, where's the end of that post? Oh, did I already do that one? No. It is just taking this spot here. Get tipped into the camera. Oh, I can't reach that far. There's just a little... Here, we're just gonna turn it upside down. We're just gonna go right here. You still can't see. There's just a little peg there. Gonna put a little cap on it. It's just that little peg right there. So that's one of the pieces. Something's gonna go here, because I've got a gear here that pivots and it controls like which way the wheels and all are turned. I am curious what's gonna be put in that spot. Okay, so we got another intense piece happening here, and I'm sorry to just bang my head all over that mic. But you go, where do you go? You go here? Yeah. So you go here. That's to hold all that gearing and everything in place. What are you trying to show me? I mean, it's showing me that this swivels and moves up and down. Okay, now we got like an actual thing to do for the next step, which has a giant sticker to it. Lovely. Alright. Real Legos are out of expansion, virtual Legos are cheap. Yeah, and that's kind of the whole thing that I've been hesitant to like do things to make it where people get extra pieces. Cause like that kit is very close to done. And I'm liking the idea and people seem to be like really, really enjoying it. But then you look at like, okay, where's a kit I can do that will like last long enough to make it worthwhile? And it's like, all right, so I'm gonna have to get a couple $100 ready, which is fine, you know, if that's the cost of doing business plus, you know, enjoying the Lego. But it's also actually sitting there going, okay, I'm about to hit this button, and it's gonna be like a third of a month's income. Am I ready to do that? The next big expensive Lego kit you want is the Indiana Jones Temple of the Golden Idol set. I may just get it after a long work weekend. I'm kind of hoping that'll catch it on sale. I don't think... So Lego does do sales. I don't think they do them often. So that person's a quest person. They just stay there. So I'm kind of hoping, like, I could delay for, like, a summer sale or, like, whatever. And then catch them, you know, 10, 20% off. Because that would be a decent amount. But it is those things that I anticipate in, like, the next week or two. That the kit is done. Potentially go with the Lego Mindstorms. So, this is going back to, would that be high school? I actually don't remember. So I actually got the very first Lego Mindstorms kit, like when it came out. And then it was a thing that I coached what's called Lego League, which is, if people are familiar with the first robotics program, which is for inspiration, research, science, and technology, I think is what it is first. So they had like their big robotics program where we build these giant robots and all that. Then they made like a smaller robotics program to be like a little bit more budget friendly for smaller schools. But for like the middle school, elementary school, they introduced what they called Lego League. And it used the Mindstorm thing. But because I was coaching it, I managed to get a hold of like, you know, each iteration. So I had like the one that was like more supposed to be like biological looking or whatever. And it was really fantastic. Did a lot of fun. But it was what it is it's Legos that you can put together, but it has a bunch of motors and sensors, like a little sensor that you can like push it. They've got a light sensor that can mostly just detect light and dark. It's not really that sophisticated. It's just like, hey, is the thing in front of my light, like my like sensor here, is it a bright color, is it a dark color? So it's got some very basic stuff there, but you can then program those Legos. When I say program, it's what I would refer to as puzzle piece programming, which isn't anything wrong with that. But like it just starts from top to bottom, and you go, okay, you hit this, and it goes, okay, this sensor, A, B, you know, if A, turn on these motors, if B, turn on those motors, like that kind of thing. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good way of also introducing people to program where you can look at it logically and just like see what happens without needing to know how to actually write coding syntax with curly braces and all that. And then usually the next step if people want to learn software development from that kind of thing is they learn like the basic structure and flow of conditions and loops and all that kind of stuff. You would then, you know, a lot of them, they'd let you like dig in saying, oh, you have this puzzle piece. It only has these like 5 things it can do. You could like go and drill into it and actually like write the code or whatever to like tweak it. Going into Lego coding from normal programming is a bit of a transition. Yeah, because you get upset that you don't have quite as much granular control. Like you can see like mentally that like I have the class, here's the function, and inside this function, you know, I have my chunks of code, my blocks of code, so you can like see how it pieces together. But then you want to give something a little bit more nuance, and you just can't because the puzzle pieces won't let you. Which that's I don't think I'm gonna play it on the channel. There was a key I was given to check out a game on the channel, and it's kind of, when I say it's like RimWorld, it doesn't have the combat side of it, but it's like, you know, go get your materials, process your materials into these things and do stuff. It's kind of that type of thing. But it is one that's trying to teach you programming as well. So it does use the puzzle piecey kind of programming because you play, like, your people are robots. And it looked interesting, but kind of simplistic, because again, it's trying to teach you coding, so they don't want to put like all the extra fluff. And so I thought about doing a stream or two of it. I haven't played it yet, but it is one of those ones I'm like, all right, this does feel like one of those ones is probably not fun to watch. And also I have no idea how good it is or whatever. All right, so you are actually mining steel now, so that's good. Get some of these things built. But yeah, no, it's Mindstorm was excellent. Mindstorm's also heckin' expensive. You feel like you know the game you're talking about? Maybe. There's definitely been a number of games that have done the puzzle PC style programming. That was oh, what was it? There was a game that I got a hold. This is well before content creation. Called Screeps. That the entire idea was you would program these like little bots to run around, but it was like this weird multiplayer one. Are they cute little square robots? Yeah, I think something like that. Yeah, Screeps was a lot of fun. What did it get caught on with cute little square robots? I missed what word that Automod jumped on with that one. Have you seen the... Oh, I think Zalrex, did you... It was a combination? Yeah, that's what I was trying to miss. It's just curious, like it doesn't actually matter. That's a cute little... Well, that's why I was curious, like what did Automod... Like, because I could see sometimes you have an innocent looking sentence. I mean, it is an innocent sentence. But like the 3 words together, you look and go, oh, I understand. In a different context, that would be a problem. You're not telling? That's fine. But Selrex, it looks like you may have missed a period in your sentence, because it looks like it thought it was a link, so it put the 3 stars. So I see, like, have you seen the 3 stars as if it was a link? X Skull Fossil Lego Kit. So I haven't, but that he's now trying to get banned. And I know we're a little after 11. I'm going to go just a little bit longer with RimWorld because the earlier part of stream, I feel like I went really long before I actually... The T-Rex. Oh, no, I haven't seen the T-Rex skull. I did put a bunch of Lego kits on my... There's a website called Throne for, like, viewers want to gift stuff. Those T-Dash... Oh no, it wasn't Automod. I thought it was a link. So usually it means they accidentally put a like they did period without the spaces. Usually what that happens with the link detection, because it's really naive where it goes word period word. Will almost always flag as a link. So usually it just means a person just missed a space. And all that happens is it doesn't give them an alert or like an Automod message. It literally just goes, you know, it just puts 3 asterisks where the link would have been. That's why you always type dot instead of that. Yeah, that's one of those things. So like when the bots do that, a lot of creators will actually go in and manually add Automod or whatever to dump when someone does if they do like space period space. A lot of times you'll have like the bot grab it or the, you know, parentheses, dot parentheses. You end up having a lot of those things where you end up having to manually do it because that's what the bots do. But yeah, so I did add Lego kits to the Throne, which is again like a website you can gift stuff to creators. And I do have it so you can do like the, you know, surprise me kind of stuff if you wanted. I haven't had people give me stuff through it because I don't promote it like ever. At least I don't think I've had anyone give me anything on Throne. It's fine. But I'm like, I don't promote it because it feels weird. But people did say, hey, you know, because you play a lot of Farm Sim, they've got this John Deere harvester kit you should put on there. I was like, okay. So I did update that, and I think that was a $35 Lego kit. But then I've got a bunch of like more significant kits on there for people wanting to do that. And that's all set to crowdsource, so like one person doesn't have to drop the entire kit's cost. You can say, I'm going to contribute $5 to it, and then whenever you hit the total money has been raised, then it gets ordered. But I put stuff on there that is stuff that I can't really justify myself. But it's like, hey, if someone's feeling like it one day, it's not something I expect. But I've had more than once people said you need to set up Throne, expand Throne, like do stuff in Throne. It's like, sure. Because there are creators out there that I'm honestly very jealous of. I'm not going to say a name. There's a creator that I watched before streaming that it was like a thing on her channel that it was usually, I can't remember if it was like weekly or every other week, that she would have a day that they'd have like a special event, but before the special event, she would open all the things that people sent her. Which none of it was like expensive stuff typically. Like it was like, you know, little $5, $10 things, but is a really kind of cool thing. You also have to be very, very brave to let people sit there and be like, hey, you could send me other stuff. Where it's like, are you going to do this on stream? No, because I don't know what's being sent to me. With that kind of stuff, because I've heard stories of some of the things that people have been sent when they just left it wide open for people to send stuff. And while there is things where people aren't supposed to be able to send me, adult things is the way I will choose to phrase it. That doesn't mean people aren't going to find something that's not properly labeled. Yeah, toys. You just looked up at what's the Lego. An Atari set 40% off from 250 to 190. I mean, that actually sounds pretty impressive. Is it like actually a cool looking kit, or is it pretty lame? Because there's definitely times that there's kits that you look at like, I understand why no one has bought, like why they're getting rid of this. This kit is pretty eh. Mech attacking from either side. We got pikemen on either side there. And a tensor. Actually, this is we're pretty well set up to handle this. Restrict everyone in here. We also need to go zone and expand that. So you can go over here and say, this is all safe to be around in now. And the reason I say this won't be a big deal is I got EMP grenades made right there. I'm going to have Captain Sanity grab those right now. But we'll just grab the EMP grenades and we can just drop them here. And you get the idea. Just EMP them into the dirt. Knowing my luck since I've approached this being like, this should be no problem, it means we're definitely getting one tapped through the head by one breaking. Maybe post a link from the Lego site. You'll have to give it to one of the mods to post on your behalf. I don't have a permit kind of thing to circumvent that. At least I don't believe I do. I don't remember. Okay. Or you can post it on Discord. You have the baby. It's not what I wanted, but it's what I did. Put the baby in the crib. You up here, you up here. Wait, I also have a Zeus hammer on top of that. Honestly, they can all reach here, and I'm not super worried about friendly fire right now. We have a shield belt in the group. Oh, I'm glad you landed in the perimeter. We'll deal with you in a minute. Let's be safer. Yeah, it started spamming opening things. You're not posting it? Okay. Like, is it an actual problem thing, or is it just Lego being, like, have a bunch of pop-ups? Like, having a bunch of pop-ups? Gotcha. I figured that was the case. Oh, that's not what you want. Hey, you go chase down the tensor. I didn't fully block off the door, so... Went around. So you just have some bruises. We got a minor burn on Chaotic Awesome, I believe. Yeah, you got a minor burn on Chaotic Awesome. All right, all sorted. Before I forget, change your weapon back. Okay, so a couple bruises and a minor burn. Yeah, no, and it's not your fault. There's just certain, hey, you know, go. Oh, I see. That's my fault. I forgot the end of that kill box is not actually in the zone. What are you doing? Oh, you're relaxing socially at the fire. I got you, Cerise. I hope you feel better. Yeah, no, I got you, Luxray. It's totally fair. Yeah, no, if you want, you can post it on the Discord. For like the Lego kit that's a discount, maybe help the streamer chat, I guess, because I could look at that. Because definitely want to check out the kit. It's not your fault Lego's spammy. That also doesn't surprise me at all. It's one of the reasons I actually don't like visiting a lot of retail websites, is a lot of them get pretty obnoxious in how they approach, like, oh, the person's trying to navigate, like, that's, retail websites when you navigate away from the link, and they do the thing where they intercept your leaving event and be like, wait, don't go. We'll give you an extra 10% off. I'm like, nah, man, if you wait until I click to wait and give me that, I am not going to accept that on principle. Like, I do not want to encourage this behavior. I want to do everything possible to make this behavior not a tolerated thing. Because that crap is annoying. I genuinely don't like when it comes to sales stuff when you decide not to go through with a sale or whatever, and then you get offered a better price. You're still finding Wake Up. I didn't think I had any Wake Up left. That, like, some raiders dropped it. Yeah, so 30 days you'll fall into a coma. I'm hoping you'll join us by then. You're getting close. You probably will. Did you get that discount on our website? Well, that's the idea. Is they're trying to get the maximum amount of money out of you. So if you go to the website and you just sign up, they don't want to offer you a discount. They want you to pay full price. But they are going, oh, if we're going to lose the sale, we want to intervene at the last second. But the problem is, usually by then, I've already made my decision I'm not buying. And then offering the 10% on when I'm trying to leave your website is kind of a slap to the face. Because it means you're fully intending on doing that discount anyways, but only if you know you could get away with not doing it. Like, only if you couldn't get away without doing it. Or to buy from Lego directly than going through Amazon. I agree. Is it rude to hide it until later? Yeah, and that was, I had worked, and it wasn't retail. I'm not gonna say specifically what it was. I'll say it had to do with vacation things. The only reason I'm not saying is, I don't know. People get weird about stuff. But, that with the vacation thing, I was being forced by a boss that was like, hey, I need you to implement it. It was, again, when you're trying to navigate away from it, that you've already made your decision, you don't want it. That would offer a discount kind of thing. Oh, I forgot. You need to go back. Hey. Oh, Captain. Oh. Yeah, don't worry about feeding them. We're kicking him out right now. But, that he had me do that whole thing where you'd attempt to navigate away from it to offer you a discount. I was like, we shouldn't do this. Like, this is something I'm not okay with. Like, I don't want to do it. And it's like, you know, and I kept pushing back and pushing back and pushing back, and finally he was like, you know, you will do this kind of thing. I'm like, all right, here's the deal. Like, don't, like, I normally won't say I told you so kind of thing, but when we get to the other side of this, and it pisses off all of our customers, I am going to say I told you so. And it was like, you know, he kind of gave me like a whatever. And we implemented it, and by the end of the day, we had like the CEO being like, you need to remove this now. Because we started getting so many complaints. Because it was a sale generation website that you would actually call salespeople to like finish your transactions most of the time. So it pissed a lot of people off. I definitely held that, like, every time the conversation came up. I did not let my boss live that down. I absolutely brought it up every time it was the situation where it's like, hey, you shouldn't do that. Like, we shouldn't do this. Like, none, the other things weren't as big of a deal. But it's like, hey, I think that's a bad idea. And, like, when he pressures, like, hey, just to remind you, the last time we went through this, how bad it went that the CEO had to get involved. So just letting you know, I'm saying it's a bad idea. Definitely didn't let him live that one down. But that was, I was, like, debating doing the nuclear, hey, do you want to make this about, do I still keep working here or not kind of escalation? I didn't go that far, but I wasn't far from it because of, like, I didn't want my name associated with that kind of a crap. Like, it just, I was not cool with it. But I wasn't quite to the point I was willing to lose my job over that one. Because I figured it was going to go, not quite as fast. I figured it was going to take a couple days to catch up. But I figured it was going to be one of those things that we would make the setup, it would anger a bunch of customers, we'd see our sales take a hard dip since it got implemented, and then, you know, you'd have all that. So I'm going to keep the site T, because we're going to get a waster, so get the wake up out of here, because they have a person who's just sucking that down right now, because of their addiction. So there's going to be some tough love that they're going to have to get over their addiction. Do you even have anything I want as I'm trying to sell you everything? Which is honestly usually the problem I run into these days. Like, they don't have anything I want. That's the problem. Like, that's the issue I run into nowadays with them, is they almost never have anything I want. Oh, who are you with? Oh, you're allied already. Is they usually just don't have anything I want, so I take all their money and I scratch my head and go, I guess I'll just sit on the rest of this crap. Alright, with that said, I'm gonna start putting the poll together for the game Switch. So we'll get that going up. For those who don't know what's going on, what ends up happening during the stream is... Let me slow down time. Is about halfway through stream, we do switch games. Because I do stream for 9 hours, so rather than doing, 9 hours every day, like one full game, I do switch at the halfway point most days, not always. And we go with that. So let's put on Farming Simulator 22, Kenshi, new run, just to be clear, and I'll explain why the Kenshi will be a new run in a minute. We had the discussion at the beginning of stream, but I will revisit that since I know a lot of people weren't here for the start of stream. Man, we actually have a lot of votes already popping in on Discord. For those who don't know, in the games channel, or sorry, the poll channel in Discord, we're having a vote for what games we'll be playing here in the near-term future on the channel. So if you want to have any say in that, you'll have to hop on the Discord and do that. Do I want to do the Tribe Must Survive? Do I want to put that on the poll? We'll put it there. The Tribe Must Survive. We'll put that up there. We will put... I'll actually probably leave... Do I want to put in Shroud on the list? I don't think I want to put Garden Life up there right now. I kind of want to wait to see who votes more. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Because I don't want to get, like, commit to... Like, in Shroud, it'll be a long-term game right this second until more people have a chance to weigh into the poll, versus the Tribe Must Survive. We could do a stream or two, and that's odd. Okay, so the poll is going up. If you do not see the poll, don't forget to refresh your browser, because that's just a thing that happens. If you are using the app, sometimes you have to, like, kick the app away and go into that. Says Enoch says, but Rual, what if we live and breathe RimWorld? I have a RimWorld tattoo. I will see. Yeah, for those who don't know, RimWorld will be coming back. We are doing this challenge run. I have like a whole YouTube playlist kind of going on with it and all that. So it's going back. So don't worry if you're like, I just really only want to see RimWorld. I have Randy Random tattooed on my inner thigh. I live and breathe RimWorld. Don't worry, it'll be back. But we do switch back and forth. So if we go and do Farming Simulator 22, we will be picking up where we left off on our Survivor Man challenge, where we started with $0 and a chainsaw. We're building up from there. If we do Kenshi, it will be a new run without the Genesis mod, and I'll explain that once I go and explain the next thing on there. And then the last one is The Tribe Must Survive. For those who do not know The Tribe Must Survive, it is also a settlement builder. It's not like RimWorld where we have things attacking us. It's more you have to like manage your wood and that type of resources, but it's sort of like Frostpunk meets Don't Starve in that you have the fire that gives off light that you have to have your people stay close enough to. Otherwise, fear slowly builds up that eventually leads to them, throwing riots or whatever. And if they are in like actual darkness, the darkness is very murdery and just yoinks them out into the darkness. So there's that whole thing, which that's early access. What is your Discord? !Discord will give you the link. But, with the Kenshi thing, you'll notice where it says new run. So thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You'll notice it says new run. Oh, yeah, it's, you might have to scroll up slightly for the Discord. Never mind, it's already there. But yeah, it's right there. For the Kenshi thing, what ended up happening is I was lamenting the last time we played Kenshi that we've been playing the mod Genesis, and it's readjusted a lot of the damage up by a lot. So like Iron Spiders were hitting me for like 200, 250 before mitigation and all that. We went to fight one of the actual significant bounties, the leader of the cannibals, and he straight up one-shot 3 people in one swing. And it was like, okay, I need to come back later. Well, I was doing some research because I was waffling going, okay, do I import my save and reduce the damage to make this more reasonable? Because it's not fun to have your characters get like one-tap killed when your characters take forever to level anything. It's not like RimWorld where you lose a pawn and you're like, ah, no, I lost a season or two's effort on this. They're very replaceable in RimWorld. It can suck that you lose a key pawn in the wrong time, certainly, but they're very replaceable in all stretch of things. Versus Kenshi, it takes a while to properly level your characters. So I went and was like, all right, do I import this? And I started looking at more information on it, and it's just apparently the philosophy behind the person who's making the mod and everything, that he feels like there's certain stuff you should just not be able to stand up in a fight against. To give you an example, he increased the Leviathan's blunt damage by 100 times. So not a flat 100, 100 times. Meaning the Leviathans can hit over 5,000 damage on a single pawn per hit. Which means there isn't armor and all that sufficient in the game to survive that. It just straight up one hits you if you hit anything important. And there's no working around that. Even if I cut the damage to half, okay, so it's only 50 times the normal damage. And it's like, well, what do I do? Because that's not fun. That means every single battle I have to do like the crossbow cheese kind of thing, or glitch out the AI so it doesn't fight back. And oh, it's not an extra 0 by mistake. It was a deliberate decision. He literally on the Discord was like, I wanted Leviathans to be an FU monster that you don't get to fight it up close. So I made its blunt like 100 times. That's just his philosophy. And he made some of the enemies so they had way faster attack speed because he was unhappy that people would, step into range and the moment the animation started, pause and then back out. And that kind of thing. So it's like, all right, well, what do? I have this run going. I can't remove the mod because it would brick the whole run. Like, it would physically crash. And so we're going to have to start a new run, is the short version of it. And it does look like Kenshi is going to win. So that means we got a couple things we need to decide. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to save and quit out of this. But don't worry, for those who are looking for RimWorld, it will be back most likely tomorrow. And give me a moment to end the stream over on YouTube and TikTok for the switch over. And that screen's just staying, there it goes. Staying blank. So I'm going to end the stream on YouTube and TikTok since they don't have the concept of changing categories and